Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I am.
I think not.
I've done it a few times. I like the Ricky Grimstroke combo. Nice movement by Snapfire there to dodge that Ricky. Yeah. Um, oh, Snapfire did a great job there in winning that skirmish, and they get the Kuria as well. I'm sure they're happy about that. So the mid Timbersaw it's against Doom. That's interesting. Went for a point in the mid chain. Um, I, so I feel like Timbersaw is really good against strength hitters, right? Especially in middle, but Doom is one of those strength hitters that I think it doesn't matter that much. You're not really going to deny him form. Yeah, and the HP percent burn damage, nice. Not at all. The region that Doom has, so it actually gets better when you take his stats away. So um, yeah, I mean it's insane with boots. It's 270 movement speed. Uh, a double kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Wish fulfilled.
Yeah, Oracle looks good. I think the way so Ricky definitely is good against Oracle, especially with his Grimstroke. Right, so Ricky, he's got a lot of synergy with his lineup. They've got orders Doom. I'm assuming that Underlord's going to get utility for him, and then I have the Grimstroke movement speed, stun, Inkswell thing. So yeah, it looks good. Uh,
Oh, Dire's courier got killed. Are you kidding me? Weak.
I almost feel like if this Doom had Infernal Blade, that could have been an easy one. You could have cancelled the mid chain there. So not really planning for the solo kill. This Doom not actually having a foresight to plan for that. Ricky, Ricky goes down top lane. So it seems like this Grimstroke Ricky combination isn't as fatal as they'd like it to be. Yeah, I think in that case it was the Ricky just struggling with movement. It was just like he couldn't stay on the axe, and he had to use his blink strike to stay on the axe. No, it's very true. I think the face was definitely attributed to him having an easier time getting out of it, but maybe this Ricky's movement was just lacking there a little bit. Um,
Oh boy, Dyer's middle tower is under attack. Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Getting swallows of full now in 1 second. Yeah, it goes. Yeah, and it's definitely the kind of hero that wants to snowball and be ahead using his like aggressive abilities.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
What you see is what gets you.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Wasn't too late.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, yes, once Doom gets added, he does have that break in his Infernal Blade, which is a good counter. So in terms of the mid lane matchup, I think that Dia has the edge.
Death's bounty.
One of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of the Timbersaw mid is because how Timbersaw creates space is through pushing out lane. Usually he pushes out the dead lane. There's a fight breaking out.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Oh, Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Man, you might as well
Looks like he's gonna outplay this Timbersaw.
just fortified there.
Gets the stun off.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Fakes him on the tree there. Beautifully done. He's in trouble.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Interesting engagement. So like I was saying, the Timbersaw creates space by pushing out, the dead lane or just a difficult lane to farm. Whereas mid Timbersaw, you want a different type of space from your mid laner. And Timbersaw can definitely provide that. But this game, I don't think he can provide that space through aggression or through pushing out lanes. Just because that Doom threat,
Yeah,
Doom gonna
100%.
come out the trees, Doom you, and then you actually you're not gonna
I
survive
mean,
that.
we see the Doom has phase boots and drums. I mean, we saw how fast he ran into that last engagement. It was actually insane. I mean, he doesn't even have that passive, the movement speed passive anymore, and he's like bolting across this map.
Yeah, I think also the Inkswell increased his movement speed there
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah,
We
it's
do see his queued up blink though. I've seen this quite a lot, but obviously to get that instant doom, but maybe just needing. I'm not sure if he maybe needs an item before he goes that.
before Blink. Well, maybe he feels drums is that item.
Yeah, that's true. It definitely is a good item to carry him through the mid game. So we'll see how that pans out. I think they need a vessel though, probably still as well, just because there's an Oracle and a Timber. But I'm not sure who would actually create that Spirit Vessel. Maybe Grimstroke or Lina. Oh man, Oracle's in so much trouble here. There's an Inkswell, and oh man, he gets punished there for going for that D ward. I mean, look at the Shape. Look at this vision here in the bottom jungle. I mean, that they've got 3 observers there, just in very awesome spots.
Oh, Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think that's some good warding by the Dire. Props to I think Grimstroke.
Yeah, I think it's Grimstroke. He was probably just in that region. I do see that those wards. We do see actually 4 heroes bottom. Timbersaw is showing here. So they might do it. There comes the silence. He does get off, and the TPs are there. So I think they won't go for this. But they're
I think
actually
they're gonna
changing
force the fight
targets.
here.
Alrighty, they wrap around. Can they get the double doom?
Double
It looks
doom.
like they did. Wow.
Double the good of late coming
Come
in.
on. Go for it. Oh, he didn't do it in time, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But the call there from the Axe and the Luna coming in with the clips and absolutely destroys 2 of them.
Yeah.
I didn't see them. They actually brought down the Lina, the Underlord, and the Grimstroke there. Wow, okay. That was a good turn for them.
Yeah, I think Dio was looking to use all of the vision that they had to get a tier 2 before 20 minutes, get double outpost, but unfortunately, plans were stifled on that tower fight.
Yeah. We do see that there's a bit of initiation. Luna in a lot of trouble here. There's the Blink Strike, there's Infernal Blade, and that should be Luna going down. Freitix just flexing a bit here with that DD. Almost has that Diff Blade. That's going to be quite a scary Ricky in a moment. It is 15 minutes in, so it's not too bad of a timing. But yeah, I mean, Timbersaw's going to hate that Diff Blade.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, the Luna also went for a Mask of Madness, so I feel Ricky in Tricks of the Trade is going to be able to fight back, especially when Luna's got that on.
Yeah, I think
because she got last steal and she got minus armor.
Yeah, unfortunately, Luna does need farm here. Does pick up that Yasha, but does need to find some space. And in fact, they're looking to create some by picking up this Lina, but I'm not sure they'll be able to entirely catch Lina without some rotations coming in. And in fact, we see a couple rotations coming through. Dodges the false promise, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Fortune's End. That's it. Yeah, and overall not too bad. They ended up picking up with the tier 1 in the off lane here for the Dire. And they're looking to pressure this tier 1 as well here. We do see the Underlords coming here to deep push, and I don't think they're going to be able to continue this push. Oh, and in fact, we see a call coming through, and the Mortimer Kisses doing their work, but there's the blink out, and in fact, we do see the Grimstroke ulti coming through. Are they going to get the double Doom off? They don't have Doom, but there is a Stomp coming through, and in fact, oh man, they do bring down 1, but it looks like they're going to lose a couple in return. In fact, Axe might be going down as well. They're just actually funny enough. They might not be. They should be able to catch him. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. And that's a
Big
team
roots
wipe.
coming out of this Underlord. Yeah, team wipe for tier 1. Dire definitely asserting dominance in these early fights. Underlord, well placed pits there.
Yeah, just catching that axe, getting Timbersaw in there, and obviously just huge amounts of magic damage coming through there. Unfortunately, they're not being able to abuse that Grimstroke ulti there. I know they won that fight, but I would like to see the Lina and the Doom obviously look to get those double ultis off.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alrighty. So just everyone that is watching, guys, this is game 1 of the series. It's Sector 17 versus Meepo Gaming. So it should be an interesting one. And speaking of that, they have initiation. They're going onto the Oracle, and they actually get that Oracle very quickly there. And it looks like they're going for more here. I don't know if they'll be able to catch anyone there. They do potentially catch this axe. Yes, they will. What a catch for them. And yeah, I think Sector 17 need to slow things down here. You know, they've got a Luna that needs a lot of farm right now. You know, Axe needs some farm as well, and they maybe need to finish up their like key items like pipe and you know, get a couple more items on their supports if they can.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I just don't think they have an answer to the combos and the setups from this Dire draft. So
Yeah.
yeah, there are a few items that they need, but how are they going to farm those items, and how effective will those items be?
Yeah. I mean, we do see that there's about a 9k lead going to Meepo Gaming right now, which is quite a deficit at just under 20 minutes in, so they need to try and close that gap. We do see that Timbersaw almost has that hood up. I think that's probably going to be quite key for him. As we saw earlier, there's a ton of magical damage and percentile damage coming from multiple heroes, from the Underlord and the Doom here. Oh, we do see a beautiful pit there coming through the stomps onto the Oracle. Silences there. Oracle should drop, and so does the axe. Wow, these guys are not stopping, eh? They're applying the pressure and continuing it.
And like I said earlier, the Underlord, he has this utility for the Ricky. And the Inkswell, Doom to back him up. Doom doesn't have an order, but he has extra lockdown, so this Ricky is going to frontline for him.
Yeah,
I think this Ricky is definitely set up for an easy game to carry.
Yeah, look, it's certainly looking good for him. He is going for that Manta, but like you were saying, I mean, this Underlord is actually just, he's a bit of a problem here. He has already got Pipe and Mech. Going to finish up that Greaves probably soon. So they should be able to, you know, sustain through these fights. And I think, you know, Ricky only has 1,200 HP. But, you know, if he's getting piped and mech'd, he should be alright. Oh, and in fact, speaking of that, he's jumping onto the Snapfire, and Snapfire just gets blown up there, just getting diffed up in that smoke. And
before the Inkswell even pops.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was very quick. The damage output from him is it's reaching a critical mass there, and they need to be worried about this from the side of Sector 17. Sorry, Brendan, I'll be right back, just 2 seconds. Alrighty, I'm back. Cool, so not too much happening right now. There is obviously a bit of a deficit in terms of gold for the side of Sector 17, but I mean, Luna's getting there. Luna's it does look like oh man, speaking of Luna, she's actually getting initiated on just in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's the War Stomp, it does miss, but it looks like he is pump faking the Doom there. They might actually have to commit it for this kill though. Oh no, they might not have to. It looks like there's the Diff Blade, the second Diff Blade in fact, and oof, that's unfortunate. In fact, it looks like Lena's actually getting caught in the backline. If they get a return kill here, that might be quite good. But oh man, there's the Grimstroke. they should be able to just combo their spells there. Laguna Blade came through, but it wasn't a double one because the other hero died before it could come through. And yeah, they're just looking very good here on the side of Meepo Gaming. I mean, they're running right at them. Unfortunately, there's just no space for Lina or anyone to farm right now. Brenda, are you there?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay, cool. So I thought that was maybe that. But yeah, awesome stuff. This is looking a bit difficult. What do you think they can try and do here to bring this back?
Well, I think it's going to be difficult. It doesn't look like they really have the reliable, damage and lockdown things to actually take control of this game. So I think they obviously missed the first few minutes of this game, but based on the state of the game currently, I think that the drafting errors are definitely coming into play.
Yeah, look, we do see a bit more farm coming, says Luna, trying to get that Hurricane Pike up. I think that is probably going to be quite good. I do think they need mechs and pipes of their own. I know it's a bit of a tall order for them to farm that up, but I think if they can, that's how they come back. They can get that control later, they can get the kiting abilities later. But they definitely... Oh, in fact, we see a blink call just missing the Lina. Maybe they can turn this though. The rest of the team is not there. In fact, this could be a very good kill for them if they can try and get this. But the double stun coming through. But it looks like Timbersaw should be able to clean this one up, and he does. Those are some good skirmishes, I think. If they can keep that up, that's probably good,
Yeah, pickoffs. I think what they should try is maybe get a pickoff on a more relevant hero than the Lina. But if they can manage that, they clearly show that they have the damage for single kills.
Yeah.
If they can do that, then yeah. Unfortunately, going for a Lina pos 4, essentially that Lina drags you around the map.
Yeah.
And pushes your team together, so it huddles your team up, whilst the other team spreads out on 4 other heroes,
Yeah.
Being more efficient on the map. So
no, definitely. I mean, that wasn't a big kill, but I think they could go for... They do have a smoke, and I think they do have damage if they can bring down potentially this Ricky if they get vision of it. But it looks like they're going to be doing the initiating here. It looks like Ricky is just hanging around there. In fact, Doom jumps forward, but it looks like the counter initiation is there. They need to pop their clips. There it is, and look at that damage. Man, oh man. They're not stopping there. Look, they want to try to get more, but Lina gets the stun off there, and I think they're just going to have to be content maybe with just that kill. Oh no, they're able to pick up the Lina potentially. There's no Yules available, so it looks like the damage is going to come through. And that is what they needed. I mean, they might even... Oh, I think they spotted the Ricky. There it is. They get the dust. The call's just off the mark, but
they missed the
dust. Oh, unfortunately. Oof, that would have been a big kill if they managed to get that Ricky.
I still think so. Now there's 2 heroes down. They should definitely use their momentum. They still have all else besides the Luna. So yeah, I think they should use this momentum now with 2 down. They have a very small opportunity, but an opportunity nevertheless.
Yeah, look, it's a little tricky. It's, if they got like the Ricky down or maybe, I know they got Doom down, but oh wow, Doom actually just picked up a BKB. I didn't even see that. But I think you're right. They need to, if they can use... Oh, in fact, we're seeing initiation bottom. It looks like Timber's in a lot of trouble. He does get that hood off, but and they should be able to return, maybe. No, it looks like they're just going to back off. But getting pickoffs is important, but also saving your cores from going down here. Oof, man, these Pet of Malices have been amazing. I mean, look how quickly that Oracle went down. We do see the Grimstroke ulti. I heard it go off, but it doesn't look like it picked up on anyone. And it looks like they're going to save this Timbersaw, maybe. No, he should fall there, it looks like. And Doom's chasing for more. He has got the Doom off on the Luna, but they will get another kill here. In fact, it looks like it's going to be 4, and that is a triple kill for this Underlord. I think this is a hero they're going to have to look at banning potentially in the second game of this series.
Definitely. I mean, I think this might be a comfort pick for Rango, just based on his performance with Pits alone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a fan of Pit. I think, Underlord is obviously his Atrophy Aura and Firestorm are amazing skills, but I think I'm just being proved wrong by Rango here. Oh man, we see the Oracle just trying to get off the spell there, but does get forced out of there. But it looks like they probably gonna lose this tier 3. Yeah, the tier 3 will go down. It looks like there is a disconnect, guys. But yeah, the game's snowballing a bit out of control for Sector 17.
Yeah, it's looking difficult. If you were to say, because I couldn't give you a good answer as to how the Radiant gets back into this game, how do you think they do that?
So I think it's a tricky one. I think, losing that team fight and then losing a tier 3 is always rough. I think they need to look for a pick-off and get Roche. That is a game changer, because the thing is, what is the Dire side or Meepo Gaming their objective? Their objective now is probably Roche. And they can't really contest that, but if they get a pick off and then take Roche, that's like a game changer in my mind. That sets up maybe a couple more towers, gets you a bit more farm, and obviously Luna can play a bit more aggressively. So that I think that's how they come back, but it is a tall order because they have to get that pick off. It's all hinged on that pick off. And it has to be a strong core, it's got to be Doom, it's got to be Underlord, it's got to be Ricky. I'd say those three. And you might even need 2 pick-offs, I would say.
I can agree with that. If they can get a pick off on a core and then play the numbers game, 5v4 fights with that core dead, and basically just force fights with their momentum. And I think at that point, they're so far behind now. It's not about objectives. I think they just got to keep taking fights till they can swing that golden XP in their favor.
Yeah.
And then start taking objectives from there. Because I do think Luna has that potential to late game carry.
Yeah, I think they do late game carry. Obviously Axe is, I would say, a pretty good carry, obviously with that call and the dunked that can go through BKBs, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. It is magical, but it does pierce spell immunity, yeah. But yeah, and Timbersaw obviously is pretty good. I think he's having a bit of a tough game. Doom is probably going to get an Ags at some point, and that is going to hurt. But, once he gets like a BKB of his own on Timbersaw, he has a game. I mean, it's a far way out, but a good couple of fights can change that.
One thing that I noticed here is how farmed Lena is for POS 4. She is more farmed than almost all the heroes on the Radiant side.
Yeah, Lena's had a cracker of a game. I mean, sitting with Aetherlen's Yules, going for that Blink Dagger. I mean, that's, for a POS 4, that's impressive. I mean, but, if you look at the cores on the side of Sector 17, they're all struggling except for the Luna, in a way. I mean, Luna's not actually far behind any of their cores, funny enough. But the problem is that you see that the Timbersaw and the Axe are struggling a bit.
Yeah, it's struggling a lot, I would say.
Yeah.
I also think that BKB seem good this game, but if that Lena POS 4 manages to get an Aghanims within a reasonable time, then you effectively get your BKB into Doom and Laguna Blade and Soulbind, and then obviously Riki, which deals physical damage.
Yeah.
And so then it doesn't look as good anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't look as good anymore. I still think it's a necessity just because, obviously Grimstroke ulti and, just, you need to get off those BKBs before you get doomed. You need to get, like, Grimstroke stuff. Like, I mean, these ink swells and these pits have been too problematic to not go BKBs. I mean, the fights could look slightly different, but we do actually see a smoke coming, and it looks like Wannabe is actually leading that charge. They're gonna... Oh, I think they spotted the Ricky, and they're gonna go try get him. Let's just double check. They've got some dust. It looks like they got a couple... They've actually only got 1 dust on their team, so Snapfire's gonna have to be up in the front there. Oh man, they just don't find him, unfortunately. He has rightly so backed off there, just good map awareness from him.
Yeah, both teams even scanned. One looking for the Ricky and one looking for the game.
Yeah, I mean, the map awareness from these teams has been on point. But, you know, we see Luna obviously I mean, Luna's actually farming quite quickly now. Luna's now got that Hurricane Pike, has a Sanjin Yasha up, and I quite like that Sanjin Yasha because Manta isn't particularly good against their side. But whereas the Stage's resistance is amazing, so I mean, you know, eventually going to turn that mask into a butterfly and a satanic, and then you've got a game. Like, I mean, Luna is one of those heroes that can 1v5. You know, obviously not entirely, and I think it will be difficult this game, but you know, it takes a lot off the rest of your team if you have such a hard core.
Well, I believe that, but I also haven't seen Luna in a long time, and I think it might just be because she isn't actually capable of doing that in
Yeah.
in the current state of the game.
For quite a while, it's definitely not the best Luna patch at the moment. But you know, at the end of the day, I think Luna's toolkit is roughly, you know, in the same right sort of bracket. But we do see that the Luna's actually queued up an MKB. I'm not 100% sure why MKB. I know they need a bit of damage, but you know, I think they need survivability right now.
So I was actually wondering when the MKB comes out. You know, I understand that the Satanic is the survivability, and that's really like Luna benefits a lot from those type of things. But they do need an MKB for the Ricky Smoke, and it's also very good against Underlord's Atrophy Order because it's a magic proc.
Yeah, magic proc. You are right there, and I think, you know, obviously Ricky is probably going to at some point potentially go for that butterfly. I think it's just such a staple item on him, and I think he probably will, even though there's an MKB coming out. Potentially. I mean, we see he's got the Skadi queued up, but, you know, he's still an Agi core, so he benefits hugely from that, agility.
Exactly. So I mean, that MKB, it's going to pierce through his armor, and it's going to allow Luna to fight through smoke.
Yeah. The one thing though is,
which I think is the biggest thing.
Do you think disassembling this mask is a good idea now? I think because, you know, she's reached a point where she can farm quick enough without it. You know, and it's a bit dangerous to have. I mean, I know you can just not use it because it's a bit dangerous in the team fights, but you know, it might be worthwhile just disassembling it at some point soon in this game.
Well, I mean, what is she going to disassemble it to build?
Well, I definitely think Satanic, you know, after the MKB.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to be a priority because it's a bit of a dead item. I mean, it's giving you a bit of a 10 attack speed and 15 damage. But it's not, and lifesteal.
I think she needs everything she can take right now. So
yeah.
The MKB no longer takes parts of the Master of Madness. Right? And so there's no point in disassembling it just yet.
We do see a bit of a cheeky play coming from the Ricky. He does pop the tricks of the trade, but not too much to no avail there. They've got a reasonable high ground defense, and I think they need to be careful on the side of Meepo Gaming. If they give away a team fight on the high ground, that's a bit of a challenge. Oh, and we actually see the jump on there, and they bring down the Oracle almost immediately. Man, but there's the Grimstroke ulti coming through. But they're not. Look at that axe call, man. He got all three of them. Oh, but there's the dunks, the double dunks coming through. They actually get two of them in a buyback from the Oracle. And it looks like Doom's in a spot of bother there as well with that BKB being popped, but not a bad fight coming from them there. I mean, that axe call was I mean, that turned the fight. I mean, we were looking at a double Doom and a double Laguna Blade there. Oh, and in fact, we see a bit more coming through. Oh, they get it down there. Ricky, they do, but it is only the Aegis. But that is a good start to returning this stage of the game. And, I mean, that's a bit of a swing going their way. They did force one buyback, though, and Timbersaw obviously went down there. Oh, we see the axe called through. There's the tricks of the trade, but unfortunately he's actually in a spot of bother here. The diff blades there. They had a sentry for the the Glimmer and I think maybe just Axe overextending. They're thinking, oh no, Oracle, no, Oracle goes down. But look at that, look at the damage going into this Ricky. And he might even bring down, yeah, Snapfire goes down there. And in fact, Luna's the one in trouble now. And it looks like they overstayed their welcome there, but oh, almost bringing down this Ricky. He got so low. And in fact, this fight speed going so long, there's another Doom charge. BKB coming from the Doom. Oh, man.
Ultimately, they managed to defend. It just cost some lives and a buyback on Oracle. A dieback on Oracle.
Yeah, oof, and it looks like Timbersaw's in trouble here, but the Glimmer and the Cookie just doing work there. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem though, because you know, they are falling behind now. 30k gold lead going to Meepo Gaming right now. Oh man, looks like they continue here. Ricky's just being so cheeky. They're blinking in, blinking out, and just forcing them to use their items. I do see this Underlord went for the extra Pit of Malice AoE. That's quite interesting. I've seen a lot of players go for the extra Firestorm cooldown or the reduction in Firestorm cooldown. Alrighty, the one thing that they don't have on the side of Meepo Gaming is push right now. So they're gonna have to figure that one out. We do see that the Ricky has queued up that butterfly though.
And that should help them push. Hopefully Luna can secure that MKB in time. Otherwise, you know, I think that's really their last hope. And I mean, if that even works.
Yeah, it's a problem. I mean, if they get that MKB, they should be able to bring him down. Obviously, that will help against the rest of the heroes, but you know, Ricky's gonna absolutely hit like a truck when he's backstabbing. Oh man, they spot that courier out flying to the side shop. I think that's going to go get Luna's items for the MKB. I mean, look at this warding again from the Dire. I mean, they've completely blocked out that triangle. Oh, we see Luna's still hanging around there to try and go for that courier snipe. Oh man, there's still the lone Mission Impossible courier. Come on, you can get the items. We do see oh wait, no, Luna. I mean, Luna actually bought out a full BKB. I'm not sure whose courier this is. Let's see. It might be Timbersaw's. Yeah, I think it's Timbersaw's. He should actually have a full Bloodstone coming out. Yeah, there we see it. It's coming on the courier. There's Lena's being super aggressive, yeah, trying to get that courier again. Oh man. Alrighty, we see the blink forward from the Axe. The Axe has blade mailed up, but unfortunately he needs to get out of there. That's such a dangerous position for him right now. And it looks like there's the stun. Oh, Laguna Blade, but the Oracle does save the Axe. He needs to run and try and get out of there. There's the Grimstroke ulti. The double doom is there, and I think Axe should fall here. And in fact, Luna's looking like she'll fall as well here. And in fact, it is the case. And that's a Grimstroke Axe coming out. Wow, I didn't even see that, but that's quite good against the Axe. Oh man, and technically Luna. And I think, yeah, GG's are called, Bryn. Quite an interesting match there. Alrighty, Meepo Gaming have taken the first game in the series. Guys, it is a best of 3. So we will be jumping into that match just to see how it goes down. Yeah, a bit of a challenge for them. They need to maybe just rethink from the side of Sector 17, look at a couple drafting things, maybe ban out the Underlord. I think that was a bit of a problem hero for them. So we'll see if that that takes effect. Alrighty. Guys, we will just be waiting for the teams to just set up that lobby and get going. So we'll be jumping into that shortly. Um,
Yeah, we better join their lobby.
yeah, I'm just waiting for that to be set up.
Luna
Alrighty.
went for a BKB then.
Yeah, Luna bought out on the BKB there at the end.
Unlucky.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a little bit too late. I think Ricky looked extremely strong there.
Okay. I'm gonna check on a few things and then be back.
Cool, man, no problem. Just busy chatting with the teams and the owners just to set up this next lobby. And we should be starting in 5-10 minutes.
Cool.
Guys, we will just jump to a quick, we'll just take a short break. I'll just play some music while we sort this out.
time to get this thing started. Fools. All of you. Fools, all of you. It's time to get this thing started.
Alright guys, looks like we're back in action. It looks like these guys are jumping into game number 2. Meepo Gaming did take game 1. So it's going to be interesting to see if Sector 17 can bring it back, guys. Apologies for the issues earlier today. Obviously power outages are unavoidable, as much as I would like them to be avoidable. But yeah, so Shape, are you here? And are you ready for this game 2 of the series?
You really gotta pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left.
Alrighty, I think he's not here, guys, so I'll just continue with this drafting phase. We do see Sector 17 just opting to go straight for that Faceless Void. You know, a lot of teams not wanting to face that hero. And I think maybe they need to take into account some of the heroes that Meepo Gaming played in the last game. Maybe Grimstroke, Underlord. We'll see what they decide to do, but obviously Tidehunter is getting taken out by Meepo Gaming, and it looks like Sector 17 actually just take out the Oracle. Wow. Maybe I think they might have first pick here, so maybe going to pick up the Grimstroke or the Underlord. We'll see what they decide to do here.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine.
Alrighty, they're running into their reserve time a bit here with this last ban. They're probably thinking what's going to come through, and it looks like Underlord is the hero that gets banned out. Yeah, they had first pick. Sector 17 would have probably picked it up, I suspect, you know, obviously letting it through this time. But I think Meepo Gaming just having none of it. And in fact, they go with the Magnus on the side of Sector 17, which is quite interesting. Alrighty, are you in the game?
10 seconds to pick a hero.
Hi.
Alright, okay, I'm not sure if he's back just yet. Alright, so they
I'm
go
back
for...
in competition.
Sorry?
I'm back.
Are you in the game?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do
awesome
you see
stuff.
this Underlord ban here?
Yeah, I see a young
you mention
Underlord
that?
ban coming through. But I've seen a lot of teams banning Underlord at the moment.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero.
Have you seen the
I
new
think
Bloodseeker build at the moment?
I have not. What is it? I've seen offlane Bloodseeker was popular
Yep.
for a while.
Yeah, it's that offlane Bloodseeker with the Veil of Discord. Oh, yeah, it is
Yeah.
Veil, yeah. Which is quite crazy because it buffs all your spells. It doesn't necessarily buff magic damage, it buffs spells if I'm not mistaken. So your Rupture, your Blood Right, all that spell damage is going to get buffed.
It's definitely an interesting one. I've seen Secret have a lot of success with it. I think it requires a good dual lane. So
Yeah.
we'll see how the dual lanes go.
We see an interesting, sorry to interrupt you there, we see a bit of an interesting pick coming from Sector 17. They're actually opting to go for the Juggernaut, which is
Second pick as well.
crazy pickup with Magnus though. I mean, you know, that Empower with Omni Slash is absolutely disgusting.
I do think it's very effective. Jug is very effective with Magnus. But, and I think it's also a good second pick because Jug's just one of those carries that, you know, he can push out lanes, he can carry a game, he's got a little bit of magic damage, he can lane.
Yeah.
And now he's got that battery, that farming battery in Magnus.
Yeah, one of the things though that they do need to be aware of is that you know, they can pick up some heroes that have stuff that go through the spin, just to maybe put a little pressure on him when he's pushing out those lanes. Alrighty, but they opt for the Rubik. I think Rubik's alright. I think it's good against Magnus. Juggernaut, it's not bad against in lane, but I think later on it gets a bit
10
rough.
seconds to pick your hero, you moron. Radiant team ban.
That's potentially just a comfort pick. Judging by the Linus playstyle in the last game, I think that the 4 player is a bit greedy and likes to get items. And I mean, Rubik is a hero that likes to have items as well.
Yeah.
You know,
It has a
relative
similar
to
playstyle,
other.
in
10
fact.
seconds to pick your hero.
Obviously,
Yeah.
there's slight differences, but you know, squishy spellcasting heroes that have high impact and can utilize very good utility items, like Yules, 4-stars, blinks, Aether lenses. But just to jump back to that Bloodseeker, do you think Rubik Bloodseeker is a strong lane?
I
Team ban.
don't think it's a strong lane now.
Hmm.
I mean, I think there's maybe a setup for the Blood Right, but I'm not sure if you know Rubik's early disable is actually enough, especially against Jug. I mean, Jug's just gonna spin.
Hmm.
So
Ooh,
Yeah.
Radiant team ban.
Look, one of the things about Rubik is that he's not a bad laner in terms of the Fade Bolt, but I think, you know, his lift is not going to be that effective.
yeah, there is that potential to amplify Fade Bolt with Bloodseeker.
You really gotta pick a hero.
That's
You
actually
have 10
interesting.
seconds
That
left.
could be quite good, because Juggernaut is technically not that tanky
5 seconds,
at the
Morty.
start of the
It'll
game.
be fine.
He's not, and he tends to build, you know, like if his first item is some kind of agility item or some kind of farming item. So he definitely isn't there. He's going to be in that 1.2, 1.5k HP range.
Yeah.
And that's only if he gets, you know, a little bit more stats. Otherwise, he's going to be squishy.
100% right. In fact, we do see a couple bans coming through. We see the Slaughter being banned out, the Mars, the Zeus. The side of Sector 17, we see Slog, Drow, Ricky. So yeah, so a lot of offlaners being banned out, a lot of cores being banned out. Where do you see this Magnus being played? We've seen, funny enough, some POS 5 Magnuses recently.
I think it's too early to say at the moment
Yeah.
where this Magnus is going. I think because they picked it with a Jug, they don't even know yet, right? And they're willing to run it as 5.
Ooh, we see another Grimstroke being picked up. That is quite good with Bloodseeker, so maybe laning that could be an option.
I think that might be, yeah.
Look, obviously Juggernaut I would say is good against Grimstroke, so very interesting stuff. On they just opt to go for the Doom to stop them getting it. I actually like that play. I think it's good. Because I think Doom's actually technically good against Rubik, Grimstroke, and Bloodseeker to an extent. Obviously Bloodseeker less so, but
10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll
imagine
be fine.
Doom with a level 25 cleave as well, and then power.
That could be interesting. I mean, that's something for late game.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a meme, I think, but it would be pretty cool to see. Oh, and imagine he gets like a crit wolf and like has like an imp claw or something. But I don't think he'll be the target for Empower anyway, even in the late game.
Who knows? Maybe he gets a hot AC, and
Yeah.
you give him Empower with 100% cleave, and the hero behind him takes a little bit of damage.
I mean, I think he'll at that point be doing more damage to the cleave targets, yeah.
Yeah. And probably not a lot of damage on the main target. Awesome. So Meepo game currently lack top push. I'm not sure how they're going to substitute it with their last pick. I'm expecting some sort of mid hero that pushes.
They went for the Ursa, which is quite interesting. I think that's quite a strong hero against these melee cores right now.
And I think Ursa is strangely enough good against Viper as well. But the Meepo's lineup as a whole isn't very good against Viper just because
Yeah.
Oh man,
they
there's
can't
only
push
10
the
seconds left
towers.
to pick a hero.
Yeah. We do see that someone in chat, Miriam, says if you lift Jug for setup and he spins afterwards, he doesn't have spin for a long time, but Blood Rite has a low cooldown. So you will not be able to lane after that. That's actually a very valid point. You know, obviously, the spin cooldown versus the cooldowns on the side of Meepo Gaming is like quite low compared to the spin.
You really gotta pick a hero.
So, you know, if you force out the spin, it's probably worth it.
You better pick your hero. 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is, right? So
Oh,
you can use that to bait out the spin, and then you can dominate the lane from there. But I also think Jug might have a few blood rights in him in the laning phase that he can tank.
Yeah.
So HP is a resource, and spin is a resource. It just comes down to managing those resources with your 5.
Yeah.
If Magnus is the 5 in that lane, I don't see it going well for Jug. But then again, with Magnus, you don't need a laning phase.
Well, one of the things that I actually quite like about this Magnus support is, you know, if you get the lane nice and controlled, you know, Magnus can chase away the heroes because otherwise they're getting skewered under tower with the changes to skewer, you know, and that's a good way to, you know, let's say he skewers back a Rubric is dead, you know, because then there's a spin coming under tower. So, you know, if they set up for that, I would like to see them abuse that because that's the way they own. I think that's the only way they win that lane. Because you know, Bloodseeker Rubric will out damage them, you know, in a standard lane. So they have to kind of find a way to level it out.
I mean, I think that's some advanced problem solving. I'd like to see them pick a different 5. Going into this game, if they go with a Jug Mag safe lane, I think they've lost this game. I don't see it working. I don't see it being reliable enough to actually allow your Jug to pop off. Ursa, he doesn't need a particularly good lane. He's going to leave his lane and he's going to go gank and he's going to kill leaders.
Another interesting thing, obviously you mentioning that Ursa, you know, there's obviously the sort of 2 builds that come out from Ursa. One is the sort of Abyssal Blade Rush, and the other is Battle Fury. Do you think the Abyssal Blade Rush might be the way to go here? Because obviously there's a spin, you know, spin TP, and I think getting that Abyssal Blade up might be game changing.
I definitely think it's going to be good. I think that Abyssal Blade Rush is going to be great. Especially because it's going to allow them to run at it. The Grimstroke Inkswell onto Ursa, another combo. So Meepo Gaming definitely know how to combo Inkswell. Yeah. They did it with the Ricky last game. They're doing it with Ursa this game.
So you know, Grimstroke's obviously his ulti is particularly good, but a double Abyssal Blade is pretty potent, and obviously double Rupture. And a quick question, Rubik's Fate Bolt, if you get hit by it twice, you don't lose like double the amount of damage.
Ooh, I don't know if you lose double the amount of damage, but I know you take double the damage.
Yeah, you will take the damage, but imagine the double damage loss, because then it becomes relevant, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously it falls off the damage reduction as the game goes on, but, you know, when you're applying it twice, that would be quite something.
Yeah, so some interesting, you know, if that works, then it's, I would say that Meepo Game has got some good drafts here. They know how to utilize their supports to the full potential. Whereas, I mean, Magnus Pos 5, it's a cool farming battery, but what does it actually do?
It is a bit of a challenge, but we do see that they've opted to go for the Tusk. I do suspect this will be a Pos 5 Magnus. I've been impressed by it when I thought it was bad, so I'm on the fence about it. So, you know, I think it could work. I think it's a bit greedy. But, you know, I do like the Tusk pickup, funny enough, as well. It's a good save against Bloodseeker, you know, obviously the Grimstroke ulti, then you can just start saving teammates. And it obviously allows you to just control and kite the Ursa. Oh man, Meepo Gaming are looking super early with their lineup here, picking up that Silencer last pick. I suspect that's a mid Silencer, probably against, I would say, probably
against
Doom.
the Viper.
Or Viper.
I'm actually not sure. I think Shazo Phoenix was mid last game, so it's potentially a mid Doom. But mid Doom against Silencer, does that happen?
I think it's alright. I think Silencer should come out slightly ahead, but obviously Doom has that crazy regen from that Devour.
yeah, I just feel that Silence's range and attack speed with the glaives, it's actually going to be abusive.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So yeah, so guys, this is the second game, Meepo Gaming versus Sector 17. We're done with the drafting phase, and it's going to be an interesting one looking at these drafts. I'm expecting some big RPs. I'm expecting some crazy plays from this Ursa. So let's see what happens here. I think it's gonna be a good match. Obviously, Sector 17 needs to put everything they have into this, and they've certainly drafted for the late game.
They have drafted for the late game, and I think that's what's going to save them here. They have late game potential more so than Meepo Gaming. Maybe the Silencer will scale for them, but Meepo Gaming lack push, so extending the game is definitely a possibility. They can extend this game to the point to the point of late game.
Brett, do you mind just checking if your in-game mic is on in the Dota 2 settings?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Why?
Someone just in chat said that they can only hear one caster in game. I'm not sure if it's me or you.
I almost feel bad.
Okay. How about now? Can they?
I don't know. Do you mind just sending me a photo of your settings in audio, and I'll just take a look.
Yes.
Alrighty. Does look like we have a bit of a disconnect, so we're just gonna double check the audio stuff in game, guys. But yeah, thank you for letting us know. Obviously, you know, it's hard for us to test that, but we'll try and fix that as soon as possible. Stormbucker. Interesting name. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I think if they can farm enough here on the side of Sector 17, they will take this game, because I've, you know, obviously Magnus with a Juggernaut empower into Omni Slash is something that's absolutely insane.
In order to take a screenshot of this, I have to change my.
You could just do it with your phone and WhatsApp.
I don't have that.
Okay. Alrighty, guys. It looks like they are ready to go. We're going to be jumping into this game. Storm, if people are having issues, if you don't mind just directing them to the Twitch. As far as I know, everyone can hear us on Twitch, so that'll be much appreciated if you can do that. Alrighty, we got the taunts and the emotes coming out, so it should be an interesting one. Let's see what happens here. So it looks like we are going to see that Pulse 5 Magnus. I'm interested to see this. I've seen it work. You know, the thing is they need to abuse it here. I mean, we're going to see the Rubric, we're going to see the Bloodseeker here, so it's going to be very interesting.
Battle's about to start. Relax, Morty. Relax. Come here, buddy. Come here.
But yes, so the Pulse 5 Magnus, it does have potential. I've seen it work before, and I mean, it's not a bad Pulse 5. It's not a bad strategy.
I think your open mic threshold, sorry, is set to off. You might just need to pop that up a bit. I'll just double check mine. I've got it at 6%.
Mine's on 6% now as well.
Okay, cool, awesome stuff. So that should sort that out. But yeah, so this is gonna be interesting. I think you didn't want this Pulse 5 mag, but I'm game. I like this. I mean, you know, I personally feel like Magnus shouldn't be a support, but it's fun to always see it. Alrighty. Looks like we got another pause here. I think we've got 4 heroes bearing down on this Juggernaut and Magnus. I think they're just gonna have to get out of here. I don't think this is a fight they can take.
I don't think they know.
Yeah.
How many heroes they have.
At the moment,
I think Magnus might have to sacrifice himself with Skewer to make them out. And where do you think this dust comes in?
Oh, we see the Skewer. Sorry, he just that pulls him out. They get the bounty, but they lose the Pulse 5 Magnus. Sorry, Shape, what were you saying?
Yeah, so we see there the skill was committed. He,
Mm.
suicides there, kamikaze
Yeah.
for the bounty.
We're actually seeing a bit of a rotate here coming through. They're sending the Ursa into the off lane with the Grimstroke actually, opting to send the who is it, the Bloodseeker against the Viper. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, you know, I think
Well,
Ursa versus Jug is good though.
yes, I mean, I think that basically they're setting up Ursa's lane, and at the same time they're hurting this Jug's lane.
Yeah. Look,
So
it's going to be interesting. We'll see what they decide to do here. I think, yeah, as we see, it is going to be a bit of a challenge. They are just spinning onto the Ursa. I mean, he is taking a bunch of damage there. And, you know, those early spins are worth it. You know, obviously, he didn't push the lane there really too much. I mean, it is pushing, but to get the Ursa down, force him to use all of his tangos, you know, that is worth. Alrighty, so we do see a bit of action here. It's not too much action. We do see that the silencer is going to be mid against this Doom though, which is it's interesting. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out, but I think once Doom gets a bunch of levels in Devour, he should be alright.
yeah, I mean, if you can get those levels within the landing phase, because it looks like Silence's got more denies than Doom has lost its on
Yeah,
on
that's a bit
actual
of a
creeps.
challenge. He does eat a creep. Funny enough, I haven't seen this one before, but he ate the heal creep, so he actually got the mana aura and the heal, which is quite nice. Oh man, we actually see that this Tusk is going to be the core here, and the Viper is actually going to be the support in this lane, which is quite interesting. I did not expect that.
Yeah, so earlier I asked you where you think this task actually fits in, and it seems like he wants to be a core.
I mean, it can work. You know, Viper obviously with the toolkit Viper has is quite oppressive in the lane. But you know, I think once the laning phase ends, sort of falls off as a support. But it should be able to secure Tusker lane. You know, I think from that perspective, it should be alright.
And we see this Empower coming into play here. This is the first one of the game.
Yeah, we see that coming out. He's not going to be able to trade with that Ursa, unfortunately. But certainly can trade with the Grimstroke if he gets the opportunity. Alrighty, yeah, there it's coming through. He doesn't actually empower himself just as yet. But yeah, it looks like all their lanes are doing well. I think Silence is obviously having the best lane, but looks like Juggernaut, Tusk, and Doom are doing quite well in terms of their last hits. So we'll see how that pans out for them.
I think Silence is a bit more. He's actually quite dangerous from the mid lane when he gets a lane like this.
Yeah. I mean, we do see these maxing the glaives, and I mean, that's pure damage right from the get-go. And funny enough, every level is about 20% increase in that damage. Or the int to damage. Oh, and we actually see that he got that int from that first kill in the top there on the Magnus. So having quite a good lane so far. Alrighty, we see Doom's just getting last worded up, and look at that pure damage coming through. Doom's actually in a lot of trouble here, gonna have to back out of here. In fact, he still goes for the Devour, and I mean, he's taking so much damage. But Silencer will run out of mana here.
Oof, but Arcane Rune coming in.
Yeah, that's quite a cheeky one. I mean, the glaives cost 10 mana now. I mean, he can literally do 20 glaives right now without losing. And in fact, pop some mango, so make that like 30.
But it looks like Doom's gonna go opt for some jungle.
Yeah.
He's using that small camp.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know
popping
if
that
it's
heal.
worthwhile to forfeit. Yeah, I see this heal happening here. It's a bit
That's actually
disgusting.
quite cool. I mean, it costs 5 mana, you know, and he has that mana aura that generates with 2.5 mana. So he's literally every second getting that the mana back he's using on that. So that's actually quite crazy.
Yeah, whilst he sits and heals himself up at 15 mana, per second or whatever, the silencer is farming creeps.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Doom will come back quite well with obviously maxing out Devour, so we should see that come into play. But yeah, Silencer will come out of this lane strong. I don't think there's a way they can go around that. I think it's just going to happen. What do you think the items for Silencer will be, obviously, on this Core Silencer? Because I think me and you both know I can't play Core Silencer. I tried earlier
Also,
today.
low prior today.
Low Prior Core Silencer. Oh man, look at that damage coming through Silencer. Even baited him onto that last hit and then even denied it. Wow.
Well, I think that so throughout time, core silencer has been something that is a little bit cheesy. So usually there's a strat involved, and they get like specific items. But in general, the core silencer gets the drums, dragon lance, maybe the dragon force staff.
Yeah. Oh man, we see Bloodseeker going down bottom. The Viper and the Tusk just proving that they're actually a strong duo here. I'm interested to see what pans out here, but that's a good pick-off just to... I mean, Bloodseeker's, you know, you don't want him snowballing out of control, because as we see, he's actually getting close to that veil. And that's going to hurt. But yeah, so I agree with you on that mid-silencer. I suspect we'll see like a drums coming out. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw like a Midas coming out maybe, because he doesn't farm particularly well, you know?
Yes, that's true. What doesn't Axe give him that AoE thing now? He can cast it on the creeps and...
Yeah, so Axe will give Last Word in a very big AoE. So it essentially makes it that he's like casting a huge silence, which will... And the silence is 6 seconds, you know, at max level. So, you know, that's quite hectic coming out from their side if he decides to go for that Axe. But yeah. Ooh, Bloodseeker running very fast because it's Magnus that's getting very low. So just rams him down in between the towers, and it looks like Doom is even rotated in here. Oh man, he's unable to stop that TP. He just enrages him and TP's out in front of him, and yeah, that's a bit of a challenge. But it looks like Juggernaut's having a good lane, even though, oh man, and they lose a hero bottom. It looks like this Tusk lane is actually very strong. We see that.
Looks like they might get some return kills with Grimstroke. Ingsfall is up.
Oh man, he's got to get out of there. It looks like he runs the right way, but he's taking so much damage. And there's the punch, and it looks like they might be able to even turn this.
Might even turn again.
Oh, the damage is coming through. Can they pick him up? He gets the tango, but it's not enough. Pastry King coming in with the damage. And this might be what's going to carry them into that late game like we spoke about. They needed something to do that.
Yeah, I'm currently just worried about this Magnus is still level 4. But I mean, that's to be expected on POS 5. He does have a 3 lane now, whilst Junk goes to jungle.
Yeah, 100%. So I think, you know...
Silencer got doomed in middle.
Sorry?
Silencer got doomed in middle.
Oh, wow. I don't think they have the kill potential there, because he's out of mana, doesn't have the Hoof Stomp and the Infernal Blade, but he should be running particularly fast with those phase boots and obviously the Scorched Earth active. But yeah, it'll be an interesting one. If they can pick up that kill, that's huge. I mean, if Doom solo kills him here, I mean, he's going to get crazy amounts of XP and gold for that.
Yeah, that would be a recovery. That would definitely be a recovery into this game.
We do see that Doom has actually queued up that Radiant. So what do you think about that? Because, you know, normally we see the drums coming out from Dooms, we see the blinks coming out. But Rads is not a bad item in this game, technically, against Bloodseeker, Ursa, and Silencer.
Yeah, I think he's got the Tusk to do utility type things, but I mean, Tusk has queued up a Desolator. So, I mean, I don't know how this game is going to pan out with your POS 3 going for a Desolator, your POS 1 going for Battle Fury, and your POS 2 going for Radiant.
Look, it is
Battle Fury, Radiant, and Desolator doesn't really make sense, but we'll see if the game goes on for long enough and they can
abuse
negate
that.
If the orders and damage manipulation on... Yeah.
I 100% agree with you, and I think, you know, the one thing that they do have going for them is that they can get those utility items on this Mag and Viper. You know, I want to see a Greaves coming out. I want to see, you know, the Viper getting the Greaves, the Magnus getting 4 staffs and glimmers, maybe even a Blink if he wants to. I think Blink might be a bit greedy. But you know, those heroes can do it. In fact, oh, we see the Ursa actually, oh, he skewers him with them. So it looks like Ursa's going to be in Magnus going to be in a lot of trouble here. In fact, the dive is coming through. He gets one last hit, he gets the slam, and that will be him going down there. In fact, we do see a rotation coming from the Viper. And I think Viper should be in the lane with the Ursa. I think it's very key for them right now.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe they should have done that a bit earlier. Viper's only level 5 with boots, and Ursa is level 7 with phase boots, and almost has the battle fury, so he's opting for that build.
Yeah, look, the Ursa has gone into the jungle, I think, realizing that he can't really lane against Viper particularly well. I think, you know, even though he's behind, he's about to get level 6, which I think is key. Stopping the mobility of him is probably the best way to deal with an Ursa. You know, if he can't run, he can't deal damage. Oh, you see the silencer. Oh man, they did have a ward up there and they spotted him. This could be the end of Doom. It looks like the damage is there and he gets it. In fact, Magnus is running there, Juggernaut's there, and it looks like they might even go for this kill. Oh man, look at the damage coming through. But the Omni Slash should be able to come through, and in fact, it looks like it will come through. And look at it, it's doing so much damage, but they actually split the damage. Oh man, it looks like they're gonna have to try and go for this. The snowball is there. Oh, and he pushes the silencer away. Unfortunately, the silencer isn't particularly fast though, so they should be able to find him, and that is a big kill for him. And Magnus actually survived there. I'm not sure how.
Just barely survived.
I think it's because he had 2 extra legs on silencer, probably.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Logic. We do see a bit of initiation. Oh, the stomp coming through. Are they going to commit the Doom here? It looks like they might not need to. In fact, they get the Rupture off. And wow, he got all of his spells off there, in fact. And it looks like Grimstroke's going to be the one that's in trouble here. And in fact, he should tick down to that damage, and he does indeed. But they might get some return kills here. Oh man, I must say I'm liking this Tusk Viper in this game so far.
Yeah, I'm liking the Tusk. I hope that he can maintain his
Oh, we see the Doom coming out. Sorry, they're going to continue this fight. It looks like the Stomp is slightly off the mark, but they can just turn their attentions onto this Rubric, and it looks like there should be enough damage coming through. And the Veil being popped there.
In. Here's the Veil.
But unfortunately, didn't have Rupture. Oh, Tusk in a lot of trouble here, but I mean, they're lacking a bit of damage on the side of the Radiant right now, Meepo Gaming.
They do. They also still farming. He's dedicated to that battle fury right now.
Yeah.
And I think that might pay off when it comes down to timings.
100%. I mean, he's even pressuring this tower. I mean, no one wants to be there right now. He's looking absolutely strong right now. But you know, obviously they're abusing the fact that the Ursa doesn't want to be there. So, you know, I think it's a good decision on their part to just abuse the other lanes.
Yeah, I think it's a mutual trade by both teams, but we'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally 100 gold between these two teams right now, so that's quite crazy. But we do actually see that the Juggernaut is top on the last hits, and he actually almost has his Battle Fury. And in fact, they bring down the Silencer in mid lane. That was just a solo Tusk. He's got some crazy damage here now. I mean, to take down their mid solo, that's very impressive.
Top tower's under attack. I wonder what they're gonna build where Dire's top tower used to be.
Oh man, that looks like Ursa does finally bring down that top tower. He should be very close to that Battle Fury. But he should actually get a similar timing to this Juggernaut, it looks like, as they taking this tower.
Looks like they're closing in on this Bloodseeker. Will they find him?
Bloodseeker just being a bit cheeky there, hiding in those trees, and in fact cuts his path even deeper in there. But I don't think they'll check there. You know, they just cleared up what they could, and yeah, just secure this tier 1. Oh, we do see a bit of a fight here. The Tusk is going through. The silence is popped. He's actually cut off by the shards, but he's so tanky with his double bracer. We actually see that Doom also has a double bracer, being quite... it seems like that's enough right now to offset their damage. Oh, we see an Omni Slash going into Rubik, and that's just a cheeky kill from Odyssey there to pick that up. Very nicely done.
Closing in onto his Battle Fury, he's pretty much on par with Ursa.
Yeah.
Ursa is around his secret shop though, so he'll get it first. But then Jug does have that battery. I haven't really seen them use this Empower battery enough.
Yeah, I sort of bit bottom, but unfortunately this mags just had to be all over the place. But one thing that they do have is those stacks. We do see a couple stacks being set up here. I would hope that they're going to abuse that now. I think Juggernaut should be able to do that. In fact, we do see a DD being picked up by Silencer and has 4 points in that glaive. So, yeah, that's a bit scary coming from him. But yeah, some good stacks coming through here. And I think that's what you need to do when you have this kind of a lineup.
Definitely.
We actually see that the Silencer went for a Glimmer Cape. That's quite an interesting one. It obviously helps against that Omni Slash, which is probably why he decided to opt for that.
Yeah, looks like he's going to go for the Dragon Lance after. Glimmer Cape, now it has it gives you 20 attack speed, and it gives you that magic resist, and obviously that active, which is quite good, and it helps your team as well. I think this mid laner buying Glimmer Cape and stuff popularized by Thompson, going Glimmer Cape even on Invoker.
Oh wow, okay, that's quite interesting. We do see a triple Ancient stack here. Look at that Battle Fury damage, and he's got his Battle Fury. I mean, he's cleaning that up, yeah, I think this is the point where Juggernaut could just get out of control here. Obviously, Ursa, the same thing sort of applies, but you know, he is falling behind in those last hits a bit.
He is. I mean, Jug obviously has that potential. It's going to come down to his farming patterns here.
Yeah.
If it's as efficient as the Ursus.
100%. We do see that, you know, he is playing in this bot lane. Does have to be super careful, but I think that ward spotted them as they were rotating in here. Yeah, he's just keeping out of there. He knows it's not safe. And yeah, the game sort of stalled a bit. I'm not sure. Do you think that this is still favoring the side of Sector 17? I mean, you know, Silence is still getting his farm. Bloodseeker's got his veil, almost has his mech. You know, both teams are kind of benefiting here, but do you think Sector 17 are just happy with this?
I think they are. I think they want to make space for their Jug and make sure that the enemy team is off him. But I think they should have a little bit of respect for this Ursa and what he can do. They're actually going to set up a smoke gank on him now.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for this. They do have RP up. The Tusk does have a medallion up here. It looks like they do know roughly where he is. And in fact, the Doom knows now the smoke is broken. He should run into him. And he does. They know he's in there. The silence comes through. He jumps out of there, but they should... You know, I don't... Oh, the 4 stops are there. And, I mean, they're actually snowballing deeper in here. And the rotations are in. And it looks like they will get the Grimstroke. But look at that. A double Rupture coming through. Double Fade Bolt. And I couldn't click on them quick enough to see if they got the damage reduction twice there. But it looks like they might even be able to get this Bloodseeker. Yeah, they will. But that's a 2 for 3 so far. They should potentially be able to pick up this next one. He does have a leap, and look at that damage. And then Rubric MVP isn't for me. Picks up that kill. Bit of a cheeky kill steal there.
Yeah. All the while, Jug is farming, but Ursa is also doing what he does. He can fight.
Yeah.
And the reason that they sort of swapped places on the map earlier was because no one could actually stand against his Ursa.
Yeah.
And it might be like that until the end of the game.
Yeah, we'll see. Look, Juggernaut is doing quite well. Takes down that mid tower. Is close to that Manta, obviously, for those silences. But Ursa, we see that he's actually going for Sanjin Yasha. That is, I would say, the standard build when you go for Battle Fury. So, you know, dooming him's not an option when he gets all those stage resistance items up. Oh, I think they know that they're here. They see that sentry being placed down. They should be able to find him. It looks like they might go into this Grimstroke. The silence is there. But they should be able to stop this snowball coming through. And I think they're just going to sack this Grimstroke. Yeah, he gets absolutely blown up. And funny enough, Doom's almost at that Radiance. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so some more farming items coming on. I feel like at some point though, you know, the returns on more farming items and you know, better, you know, more ability to farm. Actually, it's less. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, it's
falls off
diminishing.
a
It
lot.
diminishes, but you know, we do see you know, obviously Doom should be able to farm up a bunch more with that Empower as well. We do see the Tusk is getting that Empower. So yeah, yeah. I mean, Magnus has got his job cut out for him here. Just being that Empower battery, as you call it.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't pull off too hard and become an empower bot.
Oh man, we do see he's even actually got a triple stack there in that, if I'm not mistaken, it's a hard camp. So that's quite good. I mean, the stacks have been very on point from the side of Sector 17 here. I mean, Juggernaut should be able to get that Mancer up now. So and at drums coming out from Tusk, I mean, we haven't spoken too much about this Tusk, but he's actually switched from that Deso into a lot more of a utility build here.
I really like that. I
Yeah.
think that his team lacked it.
I mean, you know, with the Doom obviously going Rads, he just couldn't do it. I think he realized that, you know, because like, you know, Juggernaut was farming, Doom was farming, he had to make the plays, you know, and he did. I think he did a good job in the game so far, with that sort of responsibility.
This is sneaking Ocean now, or they might know about it. Maybe they don't feel like you contest. He's got his Sanchin Yasha, Aegis, and Battle Fury. So they're in a powerful position. And I feel that this Jug he's strong, but at the moment he's really just an Omni Slash. I think he does die outside of it, so
I think you're right. At this point, I mean, he is an Omni Slash, a very good one with Empower. But you know, then we see a snowball coming onto this Rubik. Rubik's in a lot of trouble. The punch comes there, the lift is there, but the tag team should be able to help him bring down this Rubik. So funny enough, I think you know they've got save for the Juggernaut, but I think they need a way to stop the silence being put onto the Tusk because you know if they silence, he's the only save. You know, obviously Mag as well, technically with an RP if they wanted. But it looks like Sector 17 are going to be the ones that are going to force the issue here. It looks like all the teams are grouped up. As you mentioned, this Ursa is quite strong, and it looks like, oh man, Magnus is going to jump through, and he absolutely gets destroyed. But the Omni Slash coming through, and it should be able to finish off that Bloodseeker, and it is, and it looks like they did doom up the Ursa. But
you
as
want
we
to Ursa with
mentioned,
their aliens.
yeah,
Can't get those hits off.
oh man, it looks like he does end up popping to the Aegis, but look at the double Fade Bolts. It looks like it only applied once there. But yeah, it looks like the return Doom, the double Doom coming through from the Rubik. My word.
Beautifully done.
Wow, that was amazing. And in fact, that was quite a crazy fight. That is a full team wipe going the way of Meepo Gaming. That is not what they wanted from the side of 17 right now.
Yeah, I think all things considered, you know, it looked like the fight looked actually quite good for Sector 17, even though they had Aegis and that on Meepo Gaming, and obviously this Ursa pick looking good. But Rubik and Grimstroke, they just busted out the skills and like you know they outplayed them, they brained on them,
Yeah, they
and
definitely did.
you know you can have as much of a drafting advantage and a net worth advantage, but when the brain comes to play, the brain comes to play.
Yeah, very well done from them. Obviously stealing that Doom and absolutely getting a double Doom there. I think, you know, obviously one of the challenges was the Magnus just died before he could get off anything. So I think from their side, they need to fix that. You know, I know he's working on some utility items, trying to get up maybe a 4-stop or a blink. But I don't think I can fight until they get that. You know, because Magnus can't be running into fights just trying to get off an RP. That's just unfortunately probably gonna not happen with the global silence and you know, obviously the lifts and the control coming out of Meepo Gaming.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. They're making a move on the Jug, you know, he gets off the spin.
Oh man, he gets bashed up there. There's a basher on this Ursa as well, and it looks like Magnus is just going to get taken down here. I mean, look how fast they are running at them, and it looks like Doom's also in trouble here. But they will just have to back out.
And yeah, the pressure begins from this Meepo Gaming lineup.
And they're going to bring down the Doom. This Ursa is just getting absolutely out of control right now. You know, he did take his time, but he's getting there. And in fact, it looks like, oh man, Viper's in trouble here. He should have his 4-stop up to get out of there, and he does. But yeah, I think.
But look at this, Meepo Gaming. just sitting outside this base. They're not even worried about objectives right now. Jug, you can't farm, you can't use that Empower and that Battle Fury if you can't get out to the base.
Yeah, look, he is going for that Aghanim Scepter. He almost has it. I think that will give him a bit of utility to be able to, you know, survive in those situations. He won't have to just commit spin immediately, because he has that quick slash. But yeah, he's got a way to get there. As you said, he's got to farm that up.
And here's like the point I was trying to make with that pos 5 Magnus is that in that fight bottom, Rubik and Grimstroke had abilities that they could throw that weren't ultimates, but they still had impact. And then obviously Rubik got that amazing steal. Whereas Magnus, he's a melee hero who has a W ability that's quite neat for farming. But other than that, what does he have? Pos 5 Magnus is not going to get good RPs off.
Yeah, look, it is a bit of a challenge. And we do see, oh man, he snowballs, but he luckily snowballs to the creeps. You know, I think this Ursa pick is just so good right now, and in fact, they're actually going to use it to a great effect here as they go onto the Tusk. In fact, they are trying to get a return kill there, Doom being popped, but unfortunately, the Doom, oh wow, they pop Silence as well. But yeah, Dooming this Ursa's just not having too much effect now with that stage resistance. I mean, he's probably going to get Satanic at some point.
It looks like he's on his way to the Abyssal Blade.
Yeah. Oh man, Viper's in so much trouble. It is only a support, but oh man, also the Skewer coming forward, but they need to get out of there. This is not looking too good. It looks like they might try and save him. It looks like there's the actually an RP coming through. There's the Omni Slash. Oh, do they have enough damage though? It looks like it is doing a lot of damage, but he's not going to be able to get out of there. And in fact, it looks like Ursa's just going to stun him up. And in fact, it looks like the Silence is good. Oh man, and the Fate Bolt coming through. That is a lot of int going the way to Silencer right now.
26 permanent int. So, I mean, yeah. It's looking difficult.
Yeah, it does look a bit difficult. We do see the BKB coming or is queued up from the Silencer, so yeah, they need to find a way to make some space here. I mean, Juggernaut is getting on his way to that Aghanim Scepter, but I think he needs a bit more than that.
For my coffers.
Oof, man. If we look at Magnus, he's still quite a bit away from either of those utility items. I think at this point he needs the blink, not the 4-star. So maybe he's just saving up for that.
Those little rascals are hitting Dyer's bottom tower.
We do see Juggernaut does pick up another piece to that Aghanim Scepter. He gets that outpost, and he's just going to shove out this wave. They are just doing their due diligence here on the side of Meepo Gaming and just finishing up those towers. But they should be able to get another Roshan in the next couple of minutes here. Man, Ursa's actually here. He's actually not got too many. He's got most of his teammates there, but they're going to have to defend top. Juggernaut has his level 20. Mantis to push out that wave, and I don't think they can go high ground just yet.
Yeah, I think they probably want to wait for the next Roshan. Obviously, Jug is going to get stronger, and I think when he's out on the map, then he does have a chance to catch up. Paladin Sword coming out for Ursa.
Oof, yeah, that's a bit rough. I mean that is going to be quite insane. Obviously, giving that damage and that lifesteal. But I mean, they can make plays. You know, they're still reasonably strong. They've got some good ultimates. It looks like RP is going to be up, and actually they're going to find the Grimstroke here. And they actually are going to get the snowball there, and it looks like they should be able to bring down one of these heroes. Oh, in fact, he's actually going to get out of here. Wow, and it looks like Tusk is the one that's there. Man, oh man.
Ursa getting fought on the back lines.
This could be a good
It's
fight.
taken down. All ults still up on...
Oh, Grimstroke ulti there. Oh man, and he leashes to his teammate, but he doesn't go down just yet, and it looks like Viper is just going to get held there, but they do bring down the Silencer. That's so big, but it looks like they're going to lose the Doom as well. Yeah, overall good fight coming through there from Sector 17. I mean, they finished up the Ags on Juggernaut. Funny enough, they had a blink on Doom, which I didn't notice before, which is quite key there.
And I think Sector 17 now, with both cores down and Omni Slash still up, they definitely should be going for a little bit more. They shouldn't be splitting up and farming the map like they are. But it just shows that they have the potential to gain back momentum, and once they decide to sort of slingshot themselves ahead with that momentum,
Yeah.
then they'll turn this game.
Yeah. Look, they're reaching those timings. Those greedy items are starting to pay off a bit here. It looks like they are just going to pressure this tier 1. If they can get this tier 1, that's also going to be very useful. It looks like he's just going to go for the deny here on the Bloodseeker. And, oh, he doesn't get it. In fact, Juggernaut's the one that gets it. So that's straight up gold into the coffers of Meepo, Sector 17. Alrighty, we see a stack, another stack being set up there. It looks like Doom's going to be the one that picks up. It looks like Doom's going for Silver's Edge. What do you think about that? There are a couple passives they can break in their lineup.
I think it's good to get that utility, and also I think it helps you initiate on the right target with Doom. It gives you a little bit of stats, especially I think this Doom wants stats because he wants to be useful with Empower.
Yeah, and he also needs to be tanky. I mean, one of the challenges is we see the burst damage coming from, you know, the Ursa and this Grimstroke and Rubric, so they need to sustain these fights. So, you know, I think if you know, even if a Shadow Blade saves him from getting like taking all the damage, you know, because they can initiate on him, then if he gets a Shadow Blade off, they still have to dust and then get more damage off on him, and that little difference can be a game changer there. And that's if they even see it coming, you know. In the next fight, they might just not be prepped for it. They might not have that dust. And that's probably going to be a crucial fight, this next fight, I would say. Oof, and we see that the Dooms actually picked up the critical strike creep, and that's a 200% damage hit. 20% chance to crit with it, so... you know, the right clicks from Doom are actually legit right now, with that Empower.
Yeah, and unfortunately they miss out on contesting this Roshan again. Aegis and Cheese this time.
Yeah, unfortunately Ursa Gaming coming into play there, and in fact he's got the Abyssal done. He's actually going for that Abyssal Blade, Satanic next. And I think he might be unstoppable at that point. You know, obviously maybe a good Omni Slash could change things up there.
Yeah, you know, it's gonna be tough because the Doom is what's been controlling him, but with all that status existence, that Doom's it's not gonna last very long.
No,
you know, the only thing that he wants to see now is maybe a Titan Sliver, and then.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Alrighty, it looks like Tusk is just going to do a bit of pushing here on this bot lane. They do have a catapult, but it looks like they might force the issue here with this high ground push. Do you think they're ready to take high ground?
I'm not sure, and I think that this is a good opportunity.
We see the Doom actually going straight onto the Grimstroke. This could be huge, and he's actually in Viz here running right away, so they could catch these guys running. And in fact, the Tusk did come back, so there's the Rupture, there's the Silence. But the Mancer comes through, and he gets the Quick Swift on, he gets the Omni Slash, and it looks like Bloodseeker should fall here. In fact, there's the Bash. Oh, the Greed's coming through. He is Ruptured, but it looks like he is going to go down, but Magnus is going to go down as well. And in fact, Silencer pops the cheese there, but then there's the Quick Swift, and they bring down this Silencer. It looks like Rubric in a lot of trouble here, but Ursa's just absolutely cutting this back line and able to bring down the Viper. I mean, that was a good fight there. I mean, I love what they did there with the Doom. That was a very sick play coming from them. In fact, they're going to get the Rubric as well. Man, oh man, things are starting to turn here.
Things are starting to turn, but it unfortunately doesn't look like they can get too much momentum off that win. Yes, they get some gold and they can equalize their economy, but
yeah, no, you're right. I think they will start to see those returns coming in probably in the next fight or two. But pushing now is going to be a bit of a challenge. You know, Bloodseeker's up, Silencer's almost up. But that was...
And they still have Aegis.
Yeah, they still have Aegis. They did pop the cheese in that fight, and I think Silencer should have BKB before that next fight. So, but you know, brilliant initiation there. I think the Doom used his utility, his Blink, and his Shadow Blade very well there. And he's actually almost got that Silver's Edge.
Yeah, definitely signs of life coming out of 6 to 17. Hopefully they can equalize this game.
Yeah, it's currently 1-0 to Meepo Gaming. We do see a 4-star on the Magnus. He is working towards his Blink Dagger, so he should have some more use in this game, other than empowering. Oh, we do see a Heaven's Halberd coming out onto that Tusk. I think that's very key to deal with this Ursa and this Bloodseeker. Obviously, Ursa has that stage resistance. He almost has Satanic. So yeah, it is not going to last particularly long, you know? That's,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's another one that's coming out in Viper.
alright,
They don't have damage manipulation, but they do have Albert, potentially 2 Alberts.
yeah, and that's going to be key. Obviously, you know, you can't deal with status resistance. It's just a thing that happens. There's nothing you can do about that. But except for just doubling up on some of your stuff. You know, we see an Abyssal coming up. We got the 2 Heaven's Halberds coming up. And obviously the Blink RP is there, which will go through pretty much the BKBs that Silence is pulling out. And obviously Ursa. So yeah, so some key items coming out from them. I'm not 100% sure what Meepo Gaming need to end this game out. I think the high ground push is going to be extremely hard from their side.
Yeah, they definitely lack push on Meepo Gaming. Maybe they need a Desolator somewhere. Maybe they need a Meteor Hammer somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean, the only other option is to just win the fight with all the buybacks. Yeah, convincingly, so that they can, you know, take 20 minutes to push down that tier 3.
yeah. Look, it is possible that they can do that. It is very difficult at this stage of the game, though. You know, they're going to have to force out the buybacks, as you mentioned. But you know, I don't think they have buybacks. Let's just actually have a look at their buyback statuses now quickly. Yeah, if we just jump to that, it looks like they have no buyback. They got on Magnus and on Viper, but none of the key cores right now.
That's a risky philosophy coming out of
Yeah, look.
Sector 17.
They need those items. I think those items are what are keeping them going right now. And funny enough, we see a quickening charm being picked up by Juggernaut. I mean, that cooldown on Swift Slash is currently 13.1 seconds. That is actually insane. I mean, you know, we saw what it did in that last fight. It was absolutely, it was so huge coming from the Juggernaut.
I think it was good. It actually worked in a way where it made it more survivable. Once this butterfly comes out, I think that's definitely when Meepo Gaming is gonna struggle, because Jug right now, you know, he can fight, but he's not a high damage dealer at the moment, I would say.
Looks like he's just going to get this cheeky tier 2 here. I think they are prepping for a high ground push here, so they weren't going to defend that. And yeah, I think they're looking kind of good here from the side of Sector 17. I think Meepo, and, you know, they need to figure something out here. I mean, right now they're just forcing the high ground. They don't have the Aegis anymore. They have their Satanic. So yeah, so they could force this if they wanted to. They're probably going to have to defend though. I mean, this, you know, Juggernaut's still here. He's still pushing this. He's quick swifting the lane just to push it quicker.
With 2 catapults.
Yeah, and it looks like they're unable to get that tier 3. In fact, yeah.
It looks like he actually forces their glyph. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Nice
actually quite.
push coming out from this Jug.
Yeah, very good from his side. And Meepo Gaming, they need to figure, you know, as you said earlier, maybe just some Desos or some Meteor Hammers. I think, you know, Silence is obviously building damage, so I don't think, you know, Deso will be good on him or Meteor Hammer right now. But definitely maybe Rubric or Grimstroke if they want to go for something like that. And obviously Deso maybe on the Ursa or the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, so Rubik's going Axe, I think that actually gives them the potential to like convincingly win that team fight. To the point where they don't do those things.
Oh, we're seeing a bit of initiation here. The Bloodseeker is the one that gets doomed. The Rupture was onto Tusk, but it looks like Bloodseeker is going to die before any of that happens. And in fact, the Rupture was on both of them, if I'm not mistaken. And they will lose Tusk there.
Jug is running off the Silencer. He does have BKB though. Never mind. Stops the chase.
Yeah, look, the chase is risky here. If I'm not mistaken, they do have a bunch of buybacks. There's just no buyback on Tusk and on Juggernaut. So they may have to be a bit careful here. It looks like Ursa's trying to get behind them. They do find it, but there's the quick shift. The bash is there, and it looks like the BKB from Silencer as well. But it's not enough, potentially, and it looks like he will turn into this fight. But the Omni Slash is coming through, brings down the Rubric. They bring down the Bloodseeker. or that was earlier, but it looks like Doom's going to go down. Viper having to buy back, and the Bloodseeker, but there's the Silencer going down. And in fact, it looks like, where's the Ursa? Oh, he's over here. He's going to have to be careful. The Abyssal onto the Grimstroke, and it looks like the spin is there, but I mean, he's taking so much damage even in that spin, and it looks like, oh, they get the ward on that heal there. But there's the Bash. They're coming through with the Quick Swift. He's going to have to try and destroy this. Oh man, he gets destroyed as well. Good fight coming from Meepo Gaming.
Good fight, yeah. And that's it. They just struggling to fight into this Ursa.
Yeah. The kite isn't there yet. I mean, he's got so much stage resistance. It's, I mean, casting anything on him just doesn't last.
And I think he's looking to pick up an MKB so that Jug's butterfly is not looking great. Maybe he's gonna opt for like something like a nullifier instead.
Yeah. There we see. Look at that disarm. I mean, it was barely even disarmed there, and it looks like they're gonna get this tier 3. But they should be able to stop the racks if they just commit 1 or 2 buybacks here. Looks like they might just sack this racks. Do you think that's a wise decision instead of buying back on the cause?
Yeah, I would think that's it's a good decision to make. Simply because they're only getting this racks off the back of a massive team fight. Well, it looks like it might be 2 racks. That tier 3 top is low.
Yeah, he's just gonna
I'm
absolutely
knocking on the second racks now. The Doom is out.
Alrighty, it looks like it's gonna cost them 2 racks. That melee racks is gonna go down. And yeah, that was a very costly team fight. I mean, we see that the lead is actually in 15k right now and probably going to extend even further. And it doesn't look like they want to back out of here. There we go. There we see the backs coming through. I mean, they should just secure this next Roshan.
They're respecting the Juggernaut. 2 full lanes of the racks now.
Yeah, that was a big turn for Meepo Gaming. I mean, if you're on the side 17, you got to be thinking, flip, this game just got substantially harder right now. We do see the Lotus Orb. That is quite an interesting item, against Juggernaut. Yeah, I mean, you can just be Omni slashing and Swift slashing them absolutely for days.
Yeah, with the Lotus, reflect.
Yeah. Yeah, so they got 1 racks left. We'll see what they decide to do here. They are going to opt for a smoke here. Maybe the right kind of play. We see the drawing on the map here. They're going to do a bit of a wraparound. But they all can't do it necessarily because someone's got to push out that wave as it comes in. We see a Silver's Edge being popped. They are going to run. The smokes are being popped. I think they spotted this. They are trying to back out. But the Doom actually gets cast. I'm not sure 100% where it is. Silencer. Wow, if they can bring down that, that is a good
Silence
start.
is down, and the 2 pickles. Ursa's in the base though.
Yeah, this is in the base. Tusk is trying to survive here. And in fact, they might actually be able to catch him. They've got some heroes wrapping around. The 4-stop's there, the skewer's there. But it looks like they're just going to settle for this Bloodseeker. We do see that Grimstroke ulti comes through, but it's probably not enough.
Doom is following Ursa.
Yeah,
Can they get him? Unfortunately, backs off. Ursa
that?
coming back in. I think this might be the death.
Oh man, the bashes are coming through, but look how slow. I mean, he's barely stunned and there's the quick slashes. But I mean, somebody stop him. He's absolutely going insane. And wow, what a good fight coming from Sector 17 here.
Lovely smoke and wrap it on. Brings that lead down. I'm expecting it to, I think,
Look, I think that was a good smoke. I think, I don't think the side of Meepo Gaming expected that. That was quite a interesting play they made there. And I think the Doom is initiating very quickly onto these heroes like Silencer, and that's what's changing the fights. I mean, Silencer is not able to get out this damage.
Yeah, Silencer definitely a hero that's susceptible to that. He's getting an MKB now, and then it looks like he's going to get a Lincoln's after that, counter the Doom.
Yeah. We see that the Doom is going for Aghanim Scepter though, which is quite interesting. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, there's quite a few passives they can break. But, I don't know how... I think once they get this Aegis with the Refresher Shard, that might be a bit of a challenge for them. Obviously, if they give the Refresher Shard to someone like Rubric or Silencer, probably Silencer, I suspect, You know, that's a double silence. Let's see, how long is the silence? 6 seconds. That's 12-second silence. I mean, if they just group up and push that last Rax with the Aegis, Refresh Shot, and Cheese, that could be game-changing. So I don't know. Do you contest this, Roshan?
I would say so. I think Jaga's enough to pick up his rapier now. So maybe he picks up that rapier and he takes his last fight, you know?
You're expecting a rapier to come out here.
He has the MKB queued up, so I'm not expecting it. But
Yeah.
would be nice to see a little bit of extra action.
Yeah, I'm
I don't
game
think
for
I'll
that.
have
I
time
think
to contest this.
oh, yeah, it looks like this
Ooh,
Rosh is just going to
good
die
way.
way too quickly. We do see Silencer has got items coming out to him. I do suspect. Okay, it looks like it's just smokes and sentries.
His MKB is done, I think, in 20 gold. So he can go sell that now, talisman for his MKB.
Yeah, I think yeah, his curry is actually at the side shop there. Yeah, I think they've got the tools to end this game out, but they need to be careful of the smoke wraparounds or potentially getting caught out there with the Doom. I mean, all the team fights that have gone well, it's been Doom that's initiated on them. Oh man, that damage from the silencer is absolutely insane now. He's got 34 stolen int, he's got MKB, he's got the Hurricane Pike, and yeah, that's quite a scary looking silencer. Alrighty, it looks like Ursa's got that Battle Fury in his backpack now. Is
Queuing
opting
up
to...
his 7th item already.
Yeah, he's gonna go for that Aghanim's Scepter, Aghanim's Blessing. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna be so hard to kill once he gets that. I mean, you know, popping that in rage, it's, you know, it's gonna be so hard. But obviously that, you know, if they kill the rest of the team, we saw it earlier, they are able to kill him and bring him down. It's just they require that good team fight. There's a quick swift. Oh, look at that damage coming through. In fact, the snowball's there. He will actually snowball back into their base. In fact, not quite. He actually snowballs onto the Tusk, and it looks like Tusk is going to go down there, but the Omni Slash is coming through. Can they bring him down? It looks like the Omni Slash is actually going to bring down one of them. They're actually going to bring down the Silencer as well. Wow, and there's the quick swift.
Takes out the Aegis.
I mean, this
Let's
is
see if they can handle it, Ursa.
Yeah, Ursa's getting absolutely attacked by 4 heroes here, and he will die very quickly there. And oof, that's not good. I mean, Meepo Gaming have got to be very worried here. The 4 stuff comes through, the net is there. They should be able to catch this Grimstroke, and in fact, they almost do. There should be a blink in 1 second. Are they going to spot where he's going? They do see where he's going. Oh, the Aeon just pops and he's still running. I mean, it's crazy how he's still going here. Oh, but look at that damage, the double hit. And that's a full team wipe into Aegis, Refresher, and Cheese.
And I think this is the late game coming into play. From here on out, execution is definitely going to matter.
100%. We do see that they're actually grouping up to this Rax. Do you think that they force buybacks here? I think maybe they just sack a Rax. They can't go for another one.
Yeah, the tier 2s are still up. I don't think a single buyback would really be valuable for Radiant, so...
Yeah, look, we do see that Bloodseeker is respawning, Silencer should be back, and Ursa should be back reasonably soon. And it's going to take them a while to get to even this tier 2 to get that down. But I mean, getting that Rax is huge for them. I mean, they were quite a bit behind. It's going to help them. You know, they won't have to defend as hard because the bot lane should be pushing out quite heavily.
I see Jug is queuing up an AC. I would have thought that's more of a Doom item than a Jug item.
Yeah, but one of them need it. You know, it's one of the things that is going to offset that Ursa, even the Silencer to an extent, and Bloodseeker. But Bloodseeker, unfortunately, is not having the impact that I thought he would have. Just falling a bit off into the late game.
No, definitely not having the same impact he had on the Underlord, Rango, the Pit Lord. I mean, Rango should be the Pit Lord himself.
Yeah, I mean, We did actually see that the side of Meepo Gaming decided to ban that hero, just a bit too worried that the enemy would pick it up. Oh, we see a bit of a smoke up coming here. It looks like they are going to try and wrap around. They might be able to find... No, it looks like Tusk is out of there. They know something's up. That was right on a ward, so they will know that the smoke is happening. Oof, I think Meepo Gaming need to figure this out. You know, obviously the Roche is very far away, so I'm not sure what they can do because they can't push without Aegis, I don't think.
Yeah, do they risk waiting?
And it's amazing.
How long is it now? So Aegis is up in Rush is up in 3 minutes.
Well,
But do they risk
maybe
it?
up in 3 minutes, yeah.
Do they risk another 3 minutes of?
I mean, you know, even look at this Magnus. Magnus has been able to pick up the Blink Dagger, has the Force Staff, and is on his way to that Lotus Orb, but I think they decided that they've had enough of it. They know they're strong right now, and they're just going to run forward. The smoke breaks. Are they going to spot the Ursa? They do spot the Ursa. There comes the stun. It looks like, oh, the RP does end up coming through, but it looks like Tusk is the one that's going to be falling first here, and in fact, he will buy back immediately, and it looks like Ursa gets the double stun there, and in fact, the Doom is there, but it looks like it's going to cost him. Oh no, but the Omni Slash coming through, and actually brings down the Ursa and the Bloodseeker. Wow, okay, 3 big pick-offs there coming through. And in fact, Doom once more, but he's gonna just back out of there. Man, oh man, what a game we've got here, Shape.
It's definitely turning. 4K lead now for Meepo Gaming. From a 16K lead with 2 axes, it's quite a comeback. Odyssey. Looking like he's got 4 slots in his backpack. 1 for each teammate.
Oh man, I must say that the Tusk did set him up to have a good game. You know, because the pressure was coming through thick and fast from the side of Meepo. Yeah, I think Odyssey's had an absolute blast of a game so far, and we'll see if he can actually clutch it out for his team here.
Middle tower just got wrecked.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have to back up. That Roshan is about a minute away, probably just over a minute, as it may respawn in a minute, so we'll see what they decide to do there. And we actually see something odd coming out. We see the AC queued up from the Tusk. I think maybe Juggernaut just needs to change up what he's going for there, if Tusk is going to go for that.
Yeah, I think this Jug also needs to maybe consider the blessing and actual damage instead of attack speed, because he's going to get diminishing returns on attack speed. He's got 0.3 seconds between attacks now, so
yeah,
any more attack speed. He does have a hyperstone in his backpack, but I don't know if more attack speed is the player.
Yeah, maybe not. I do think he should eat that Aghanims, whether he goes for more attack speed or not. You know, obviously he doesn't necessarily need all those stats. It's only 10 all attributes. So he would benefit more from other items here. Another thing you could have considered, obviously, is Satanic himself. You know, there's quite a few spells that are getting targeted onto him, and that, you know, he could get blown up if they get the Abyssal on him. You know, they have the damage,
Yeah,
they're just not finding him.
You can, and maybe that's one of the reasons for the AC. You know, you want that armor so that he can survive Ursa's burst.
Yeah. Alrighty, so it does look like they are checking Roshan. It is about a minute away. But if they can get that, that should be an Aghanim's Blessing as well. Who do you think you give that to on the side of Meepo?
Aghanim's Blessing.
Yeah.
Ursa almost has this one. Bloodseeker potentially. That's double rupture. Silencer could be good as well.
Oh, what about a Grimstroke? You know, I know that's a bit of an odd one, but you could still like
Yes.
a Doom and get the Radiance.
Yeah, Jug Illusion is definitely going to pump with Mantis Style and all the attack speed actually. So a while ago they changed the illusions now benefit from attack speed. So
yeah, and one of the things as well is doesn't the Grimstroke illusion do like 100% damage? or something ridiculous like that. Or it does like 75% damage, something really crazy. I mean, that he's gonna crit as well with that passive.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously, that smoke coming from 17 was just a bit too late. They obviously do spot out that this Roshan's here, but I mean, I think both teams are. I mean, this is a game-changing Rosha. I mean, they can't just give this one up on either side.
Look, I think if Meepo Gaming lose this Roshan fight, that's probably the last nail in the coffin for them. But I don't think it's too bad actually. If Sector 17 say, look, we feel more comfortable fighting in our base, let's let them have this round.
100%, but it looks like they're gonna fight for it. They're gonna spot the Ursa in there. He's gonna have to. Oh man, he gets hexed up. He pops his enrage though, and the silence is there. And it looks like they. Oh man, they do spot the Doom. The Abyssals there. Doom could be the one that's in trouble here. And in fact, it looks like he is going to fall there. That's not the start they needed to this Roche fight. Oof, man, and that's a bit of a big buyback to commit if they want to contest this Roche.
Yeah, it's far out as well, but they do have the outputs.
Oh man, but look at that Roshan just absolutely falling so quickly, and in fact they're gonna pick it up. They're gonna pick up those items quickly. I don't think they've given out that Agnums yet, because Rubik has one already. It looks like Ursa took it. Okay. I mean, Ursa's Ags is good. You know, now he can just go for something else. You know, maybe replace the Sanjin Yasha with something.
Yeah, or maybe even buy a Moonshot for Silencer.
I mean, Silencer needs the attack speed now, because he's outputting the damage. He just, you know, he hasn't gone for any attack speed items himself.
That's true.
Righty, it looks like they're gonna do this push. Doom's still not up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Righty, I'm not sure why they're back there. They could have probably kept going there. I mean, at least forced the Doom buyback. I'm not sure what hexed the Prince's Knife on the Viper hexed the Ursa in that fight. I mean, he didn't really get hexed. I mean, it was more of just a slight quick shift into into a frog or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was short. It was like half frame.
And if I'm not mistaken, Ursa can enrage with the Ags now through that. So. Or does it? I think Hex might be the one thing that it doesn't.
No, I think he can't through X and Silence.
Yeah.
But actually maybe X, I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe he gives it a bash next time he gets hexed. And it looks like they are grouping up to do this push. Yeah, this is a bit of a game changer. We'll see how they decide to go for this. They just got to be wary of that Doom getting into their lines. I'd like to see them get some sentries down. You know, stop this Doom just getting into the backline.
AC completed on Jug.
We do see
unfortunately, they didn't give him any attack speed, but does give him that armor and that armor reduction.
Yeah. We do see that the sentries are being placed down there, so the Doom should struggle to get through here, but he should be able to just keep hitting this tower. Oh, there's the Hex. There, he's back into normal form. He does take a bunch of damage, but he can just regen this off. And they could keep just doing this. You know.
Yeah, slow siege.
Yeah, I mean, they're holding their positions very well. Ursa can survive most of what they got, or at least the initial spells.
Yeah, and then he still has Aegis for round 2.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the last... Oh, we actually see initiation here. The snowball's actually onto the Tusk. And they're just going to pull him right into the base. And it looks like he's just going to have to run out of there. Omni Slash coming through. It looks like they're going onto him. He does have cheese, so he should be able to survive. He does use up. He needs to use that cheese as soon as he comes out of there. And it looks like Bloodseeker does end up going down there. But Juggernaut's...
Juggernaut is just controlling all 3 heroes in the back line.
Yeah, and oh man, Ursa is getting... I mean, he loses the Aegis, but he gets out. So that's not too bad from them.
Yeah, but both Aeon discs on the supports of Meepo Gaming have been popped.
Yeah, it looks like, oh man, that was Quick Swift comes through, brings down that silencer so quickly, and there's another hero going down. I mean, wow, okay. Alrighty, it looks like Ursa's gonna try get out of there. There's the Abyssal. That could be GG. And look, they do have buybacks in all their heroes, but that is a huge loss for them. Having Aegis and everything, and I don't think they lost anyone on the side of Sector 17.
Let's take a look. I don't think they did.
Yeah, no, that's quite something. It does look like they are going to have to buy back here, otherwise they're going to potentially lose their base. They do pop a glyph, they do pop a couple spells, there's a second buyback coming through, but I don't think they're going to back. They want that Ursa buyback, they want that Silencer buyback, so they're going to continue. Yeah, there's the...
May back up. I think.
I mean, force 3 buybacks. I mean, they probably could have still gone there. You know, they had their ultis up. Oh wait, they didn't have Omni Slash up.
And this is the gold swinging in the complete other direction now. 10k lead for Sector 17. Jug has a Sacred Relic queued up. Now, I don't know what Sacred Relic builds into, but
I know what
some
that builds
people...
into. I know what he's going
Oh
for.
yeah?
He's not
What
going
is
for
that?
Divine Rapier, he's going for Nullifier.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of like these late game jugs get the Nullifier. It's really good. And I think it dispels the Aeon Disc, I'm not sure.
I don't
Definitely
think so.
dispels the
I don't
Yule
know.
Scepters. So there's 2 Yule Scepters on the side of...
We do see Lincoln's being picked up by this Ursa. So he should have Lotus Orb and Lincoln's on him if they decide to do the slow push again. But funny enough, the Lotus Orb actually not working for them. Because the Tusk just brings it back.
Yeah. I think they'll stop doing that now. Rango's probably learned his lesson. It doesn't work so well.
Yeah, look, I mean, that is quite a good thing for them to find out. Oh, it looks like Bloodseeker is running there. Oh, he doesn't get the silence off, and Juggernaut's just there. And it looks like he's just gonna fall. Wow.
What did Jug drop for the Nullifier?
Juggernaut, did he eat his Aghanims, maybe? No. Oh, he dropped his boots. He dropped his boots.
Wow.
Oh, and he's actually got a pirate hat. Wow, so he's got 150 attack speed. Oh, the tier 5 item's coming up. I mean, that could be a game changer for either side here, actually. Oh man, force boots. I love force boots. That's an awesome item to find. But we'll see who... Because, you know, the force boots actually dispels you when you activate it.
Yeah, that's insane. Like Flicker as well. I think that's like one of the values of Flicker.
Yeah.
Is the dispel.
We do see a Seer Stone being picked up, increases cast rate. Oh man, we're actually seeing initiation here. It looks like... Oh man, they're just going to back off there, but...
Jug is just eating these towers.
Yeah, with that pirate's hat, he's absolutely going ham. They are casting what spells they can onto him, but they can't chase here. I think this could be a challenge. Oh, the double abyssal coming through. Ursa wants his kill so badly. The silence has popped, and oh man, he almost actually brings down the Ursa. In fact, he will bring down that Ursa. There's no buyback on him, and yeah, that's a bit of a problem here. Oh man, the 2-man RP coming through, and there's a quick slash coming through. I think this might be GG. And there's the Abyssal coming through in the last hero. And look at those buildings. He even stops to get the bounty, and there's the GG's being called. Oh man, that is quite hectic.
Nice comeback.
Yeah, very nice.
By Sector 17, keeping their composure throughout a tough game. 2 Daxes down, 16k behind.
Yeah.
Believing in their core player.
100%. Guys, so that is game 2. We're down to 1v. It's 1-1 for each of these teams.
Best of one now.
Yeah, essentially a best of 1 now. Obviously, these teams are figuring each other out, and I think they found their rhythm here on the side of Sector 17. But maybe they can tone down on the greed, I think, slightly. You know, it was good, but you know, it didn't look good in the mid game. It was looking a little sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, it put them in an awkward spot if it lost them 2 racks, I would say it was the sole reason behind that.
Alright guys, so we will just take a short break while we sort out that next lobby and we'll be right back with you guys.
Super Tramp?
Yo. Yeah.
Alright, cool guys, we're almost ready for this next game.
Can you move into lobby, please?
Alright, let me do that quickly. I can't move into the lobby. I'll send you the password. Alrighty guys, we're going into the next match. It is going to be a close one. Bryn, we're sitting with a 1-1 here, and I wasn't sure if we would get to this point. I think Sector 17 pulled out all the stops there. That was crazy.
Yeah, they definitely. I think the main thing, from like a spectator perspective of that game is they held their composure. They didn't tweak out and just throw the game or call GG or even especially when they had that opportunity to throw those buybacks, they held tight. They kept their buybacks and it paid off. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, just sorting out this lobby. Yeah, so very interesting. I mean, you know, it didn't look good for them in the beginning, but they fought hard. I mean, the stacks coming from Magnus, the farming mechanics, obviously going quite greedy on the battlefield with Jug, and obviously the Radiance on Doom. But it paid off. I mean, Doom created so much havoc in those backlines. I mean, Silencer he was never able to tee off on someone. He just couldn't output the damage.
Yeah, silence of that game. Yeah, he did 28k damage. Rubik did 22k damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was quite something. What do you think? I mean, Meepo Gaming. What do you think they need to do here? I mean, after that
I
loss,
think,
it's a bit of a challenge.
yeah, I mean, I think that they played well. They have the skills, right, and they have the brains to like outplay. But when the drafting happens, I think they need to make sure that they have something that actually hits a tower. I think that's what their draft lacked. They couldn't hit the tower. The silencer was kind of a useless like pick in the end. I guess in hindsight you can say that, but when you're drafting, you don't exactly know, right? But yeah, if that silencer was maybe like a DP or something that could hit towers, then yeah, I think they could have won that game. In fact, I think they would have taken that game easily.
Yeah, 100%. I do agree with you. What would you have thought like something like a DP to replace that silencer mid might have been what they needed?
Yeah, I think something like a DP would have been, because I mean she's a bit tankier as well. She is a bit more of a frontliner. Yes, she's susceptible to Doom, but I would say less than Silencer.
I also think maybe the Bloodseeker was a bit of a challenge as well. So like Bloodseeker did all right mid game, but it just fell off. So we'll see.
Yes, I think what they were going for is that double rupture, but double rupture isn't that good because soulbound means you can't move. So you're ruptured, but you also can't move. So
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to, you couldn't.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it's not like they had like obviously the Magnus. You kind of it's good rupture target. Same with like a Lycan. But they, Juggernaut doesn't mind too much as well. Spin TP. Doom kind of minded a bit. But he's kind of beefy and has that regen. So a bit of a tough game for him. I understand their pick. That was a very how do I spell your name? Shape. At least the players are just having some banter in the chat. They're just talking about us getting bored as casters, but I don't think we get bored. With the plays like that they make. I mean, it's crazy how they still hold on to that game. I think we're just waiting still on one of the teams here. Cool, no worries. But yeah, so this is gonna be interesting, guys. We are just gonna jump, or we're just gonna. It's gonna take a bit of time for us to get this next game on the road. It does look like they are joining up. Shape, if you are here, you just need to join the caster slot. Alrighty, it does look like these players are getting ready. Guys, this is going to game 3. It is 1-1, so not much between these two teams. Alrighty. Catch Carter, first words. Man, it's good to see you here. Guys, this is Sector 17 versus Meepo Gaming. It's currently 1-1, so not much between these two teams. We're just sorting out this next lobby. So this is going to be the decider match. It has gone from a best of 3 and now going to be a best of 1 essentially. So winner of this match is going to stay in the upper bracket, and the loser is going to move down into that lower bracket. So not the end of the road for any of the teams, but a lot to play for to stay in that upper bracket. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in this next match. It does look like the teams have just agreed to take a short little break. So I think we're going to do the same. It shouldn't take too long, guys. So I'm just going to put on some music while we wait. It should be 5 minutes roughly.
something to think on, baby. There's nothing better than being with you. These days they're driving me wild. I can't get you out of my head. Got an addiction to your ways, baby. There's nothing better than the days we share. Oh, I feel it. And oh, I feel the loving from you. And oh, I feel good. And oh, there's nothing better than being with you.
Alright.
Awesome stuff, you back. Alrighty, it looks like we are just waiting for one more player, guys. It shouldn't be too long. So yeah, Meepo Gaming are just busy trying to get hold of him. So there's a bit of a delay there. But if you guys want to catch, if you guys want to catch, we've got some Counter-Strike action happening at 8 o'clock tonight. So if you want to stick around for that, that would be awesome. It's going to be some good Counter-Strike action. In fact, they're almost into the knockout stages of that tournament. Alrighty. Brent, who do you think is going to take Game 3? It's gonna be an interesting one.
I'm gonna say Meepo Gaming.
Yeah, maybe. Look, I think they need to rethink what they're doing. You know, they had such a strong early game, but they need a way to close out the game.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I think just based on the consistency of
yeah.
of what they're doing, I think
Yeah. Just while we wait, guys, shout out to our sponsors, FineTech and RebelTech. You can check them both out at finetech.co.za and rebelgaming.co.za. They put up a bunch of prizes for these teams, so that's what they're playing for, cash and gear. If I'm not mistaken, there's 5 awesome gaming cases up for grabs for the winners of the elite bracket, or the top bracket. So yeah, that's what these teams are playing for. So there's a lot to play for, yeah, and a lot of cash as well. So very, very awesome stuff for these guys. Yeah, I mean, then either team if either team loses here, they're not out of the tournament. They will just drop out down into the lower bracket. But yeah, so we're just busy sorting out this match. It should be starting soon. We're just trying to confirm. Sorry for the wait, guys. Just looks like one player seems to be unable to connect. Alrighty, guys, it looks like the last player is in. We should be starting. Let me just confirm with the lobby leader there quick. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, just a bit of an issue from one of the players. Had a bit of an emergency he had to sort out. But yeah, so we should be good to go. We're just waiting for the lobby to start up and we'll jump right into it. This is Sector 17 versus Meepo Gaming. This is currently 1-1, so not much between these two teams. I think Sector 17 have found a bit of a stride. Maybe they can pull off a solid game here. we'll see. I'm not sure why this lobby won't start. Alrighty, I'm just gonna recreate this lobby. I don't think I don't know who Sleeps is, but just rejoin the lobby.
I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
I'm sleeps.
I can't hear you.
I am sleeps.
Oh, are you Sleeps? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Okay, that was a bit of a weird one. But I've just made a new lobby. It looks like the teams are joining in.
Cool.
Alrighty. Automatic coin toss, 1-1 between the two teams. Let's see. It's gonna be interesting. Okay, it looks like we're almost ready to kick this off, guys. It's gonna be good. I mean, I don't know who's gonna win. Shape, I think it looks like. Oh. Yeah, unable to set. Alrighty, there we go. It looks like we're going to be jumping into this game. Guys, I'm going to switch us over and we can jump right into that drafting phase. Do you think they still ban the Underlord here, Bryn?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's probably just too important to not. I mean, we see that obviously, you know, it's been a big factor, and I think neither team's gonna want to give that up. And I think Sector 17 do have the first pick here, if I'm not mistaken.
Radiant team banned.
Oh wait, no, is it Meepo Gaming?
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine.
Alright, we do see the same bands coming out here, Tide Hunter and a Faceless Void, so very interesting start, obviously the same kind of stuff,
Dire team banned.
but we're just not going to see that anymore, and it looks like Juggernaut's going to be the hero we don't see this game, and I think rightly so. Odyssey just looking very good on that hero.
Come on, Radiant team, you gotta pick him right.
Alrighty, we see Grimstroke being taken out. That leaves Underlord into this game, but no Grimstroke. It had a good impact last game, but unfortunately not quite as much as the first game. So forcing Meepo Gaming to pick something new here.
10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron. Yeah, 5 seconds left now. Pick.
Alrighty, we see that Oracle being picked up. That seems like a bit of a standard pickup. Yeah, I mean, it had a big impact in the previous match for Sector 17, but it unfortunately wasn't good enough, unfortunately. So we'll see what this Meepo Gaming can do with it.
Hero. 5 seconds. Come on, Radiant team, you gotta pick him right.
Oh, and it looks like, wow, a Night Stalker being picked up. That's something we haven't seen too much of, but certainly a good hero coming out. But if early Night Stalker pick might be a bit too early for that hero, so we'll see what they decide to do with it.
Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine.
Seems like they're just gonna dip into the reserve time here. I don't know, Bryn, what do you think of this Night Stalker pickup? Alright, I think he... Oh, there
Sorry, phone call.
That's alright.
Oracle. Grimstroke is out.
Yeah.
Sector 17 clearly respecting that Grimstroke.
Yeah, I think that... I mean, they faced it 2 games in a row.
Go,
I
dire
mean,
team. Pick 'em up.
clearly
Yeah.
showing how much they value it. Ooh, and we're seeing a slaughter and an instant pick coming from Sector 17. They go back for the Luna. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that.
That didn't go well the last time. I actually also don't think that Slaughter's good against. I mean, that Luna's good against Slaughter.
Yeah. Oh, bit of an interesting one. I'm sort of in agreement with you. I know Sector 17 like to pick up their
You
core
gotta pick a
hero
You
here,
got
second
10
pick.
seconds left. Oh, dire team ban.
Yeah, so we'll see what synergies they go for.
We see a
Um,
ban on Spectre though. That was a bit of a strange ban after seeing the Luna pick up.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still banning our cores. Do you think they might be thinking this is a support Luna? I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
Support Luna, maybe a mid Luna or something.
Radiant
I mean,
team
the
ban.
caddy, I don't know. Caddy Luna didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. But support Luna is actually a thing. I just think it's a bit risky to do a support Luna in this game. I think it was actually,
10
wasn't it
seconds to
Puppy
pick
that
your
started
hero,
doing the support Luna?
moron.
I think he was drafting the Luna Pass 4.
Ah,
So not
Pass 4.
quite support Luna. But
Yeah. Certainly interesting. I mean, it's quite a strong, you know, magic damage outputter, but, you know, it is a bit greedy. But, I mean, Sector 17 seemed to do better with the greedier
Oh,
lineups.
dire team ban.
yeah. I don't know what this Night Stalker. I think Night Stalker is kind of an underwhelming hero at the moment, and he does have this Luna ulti sort of cheese strat to enable him a bit.
Oh,
But,
man, Rick, there's only 10
I'm not
seconds
sure.
left to pick a
Not sure
hero.
about this Night Stalker pick.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. I do
You better
like it
pick your
against
hero.
Oracle,
5 seconds.
because you can always find the Oracle. But against Slaughter, not so much.
Come on, dire team. Pick it good.
Okay, so that's 4 cores banned post Luna pick.
Yeah, that's... I mean, you know, if you Meepo Gaming, just stick to your guns. Ban out all those cores. In fact, if you look at Sector 17, they've also been banning out
You
cores.
really gotta pick a
So,
hero.
I mean,
You
you're
got
not going
10
to see
seconds
Ricky,
left.
Sven, Drow, obviously Slark,
there's
Anti-Mage,
5
and
seconds
Spectre
left now.
being banned out. So not leaving too much for Sector 17. They could just stick to the Lunar core. I think that's possibly safe for them, but I think you mentioned it earlier. Slardar is quite good against Luna and lane. Because, you know, Luna doesn't have the best range.
Yeah, it's squishy as well. We'll see.
Yeah, I do suspect that Meepo Gaming are going to go for a bit more of a run at you strata game. And in fact, we see an Undying coming through. I mean, that leaves them open to something like a Lifestealer or an Ursa again. But they don't have the best ways of dealing with Tombstone right
You
now.
really gotta pick a hero. You got
So
10
that will
seconds
force
left.
them into something ranged with a good attack speed
5
potentially.
seconds, Morty. It'll be
Or just
fine.
even, you know, as I mentioned, Ursa could be good again.
Maybe we'll see Gyrocopter again.
Yeah, I mean that could work. I mean Garu versus Lunas, that if it goes back aeons. I mean, I remember watching TI years ago where every game was Garu Luna. Garu versus Luna.
Dire team pick.
Lena.
Ooh, and there's that ranged hitter for the egg. I mean, sorry, not the egg, the tombstone. There's no Phoenix in this game. Or not yet, at least. I definitely don't think Sector 17 are going to go for it now that there's a Lena.
Man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. You better pick your hero.
I think if Nice Stalker can close the gap on Lena, then he can have solid impact in this game actually.
I mean, I definitely think Night Stalker has to play pos 3 here. I don't think they'll go core Night Stalker or mid Night Stalker, and I think support Night Stalker is a bit weak. But it does seem like Meepo Gaming are sticking to their guns with that bit of a run at you style of Dota. Ooh, and some more team fight coming with the Zeus. That's a pretty solid pickup. I think it's good against most of those heroes. They're quite squishy, and they don't
I
have
just
the
don't
best
think they
ways
have
of-
enough lockdown. They don't have enough lockdown to pick Zeus. Because I think once Slardar gets in there, you know, he's gonna go on that Zeus. And he can commit his life and die. But when you pick Zeus, you sort of rely on his damage. And then when he's dead, then he doesn't deal damage.
Yeah.
So even if Slardar dies, you know, his team's gonna win that fight.
Yeah.
I'm not confident in this Zeus pick.
Look, I think Zeus has been very good in the meta, but I do agree with you on the lockdown scenario. And if they can pick up the Zeus, it is going to be a good fight for them. You know, but I would say they still need damage, or at least another way of catching the Zeus. You know, whether it's something that can jump the Zeus, or something that's just going to output the you know, enough control to stop the Zeus from running away. Alrighty, it looks like Meepo pick. Oh, there it is, the Underlord. I mean, it wasn't picked up early in this game. It was banned out in the first phase of the last game, but here it is, and I think it's actually a good Underlord game. Obviously Zeus is still good against Underlord though.
Oh man, Rick, there's only
The
2
Rango.
seconds to pick a hero.
The Rango Underlord.
Yeah, 5 seconds left now.
Very interesting stuff coming out from them. I must say that is a. I mean, this is a bit weird though, right? They had the Slardar and they went back for the Underlord. Do you think that's a core Slardar?
Dire team ban.
Maybe 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe mid. Maybe +1. I don't think it's gonna be a +1 Slaughter.
Yeah, it makes it a bit weird because then I would assume that Lina is going to be like a mid or something,
Radiant team ban.
you know?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think, you know, Slaughter Underlord could be quite an oppressive lane. I mean, they're so tanky between the two of them. But I mean, it's going to be difficult for them to lane together. They're not the most traditional laners.
You really gotta pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left.
Funny enough, they could
5
actually
seconds,
play
40,
pos 1
it'll be
Slaughter
fine.
potentially, because it lanes amazing against the Night Stalker.
Dire
It just
team
means that their
ban.
timing is really awkward. Alrighty, it seems like we got a Pugna being banned up by Meepo Gaming. I think they suspect that
10
this
seconds to pick your
Zeus
hero,
might be
you
the support.
moron.
I think they might be right here.
Yeah,
Just sending,
5
you
seconds
know,
left now.
sending the Zeus potentially with the Night Stalker and picking up a mid here. But yeah, I think someone mentioned in chat, yeah, just put Lina in the Undying lane. That would be quite
Come on,
interesting.
Radiant team, you gotta pick 'em right.
Guys, this is currently 1-1 to each team, so this match, everything's on the line here. We'll see which team can stay in the upper bracket and which team will go down into the lower bracket. It's going to be interesting to see. And we see Skyrath getting banned
10
out.
seconds to pick your hero. You pick, moron.
Ooh, Dusa being picked up. Wow, okay. Do you think that's a mid Dusa? I suspect it will be a mid Dusa. You know, obviously having that core Slardar means that they won't have the late game, but I think with Dusa they probably will.
You really gotta pick a hero. You got 10
Yeah,
seconds left.
I think they've got a good draft here that also does sort of play around Medusa. Right? They've got lockdown, they've got save for Medusa, they've got damage amp for Medusa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they've got 4 heroes that can run around in the early game and
Yeah.
make space.
So now, if Sector 17 decide to play the support Zeus, do you think they just go for something like a sniper? Because they've got 2 frontliners, like Night Stalker Undying. just to
I
hold
think
on that front line. But they need something to do with Dusa right now, because I don't think they have enough.
I think they might need to do it in a way where they deal with Deuce's timing rather than like that, because
Alright.
in the end, are you gonna go late game against Medusa?
Look, I think Sector 17 need to play to the late game, because that's been their strategy, right? I mean, it seems like Meepo Gaming are just very strong in those early stages of the game.
Yeah.
But it looks like I think they're in the same space as us. They're not sure what's going to quite deal with this Dusa. They don't have too long left in this draft, about 9 seconds. So we'll see what they go with. Hopefully they don't random here. They don't random, and it looks like they're going to go with the Arc Warden. Okay, that's quite interesting.
Interesting one, yeah.
I mean, that kind of deals with the Dusas to some extent. Obviously with the range from Arc Warden and the scalability.
So it is a pause for Luna, it looks like, I think.
No, that'll be a pause. Ooh, I'm not actually sure. If that's a support Luna, I'm a little confused then.
Yeah, it looks like support Luna.
Ooh. Alrighty, but guys, we're going to be jumping into this match. It is currently 1-1 between these teams. Yeah, and winner takes all essentially, because it was a best of 3, but now they're down to a 1-1 scenario. And do you think which lineup are you leaning towards here?
I don't really understand the pause for Luna, right? So it might be good, might be great even, but because I don't understand it, I'm gonna have to go with Meepo Gaming.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you there. I don't understand it either. I know it is there is particular builds and strats around that, but it's something I haven't seen too much of, and I think we might be seeing it today. Because if I'm not mistaken, Shazo Phoenix does go mid, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Their lineup is a little bit strange right now, but it looks like we're going to jump into this game, and it is a support Luna.
Why aren't they doing
Alrighty.
anything? They're just standing around.
So yeah, Night Stalker
Well,
going
that's
bottom,
boring.
probably with the Luna, Arcwood and safe lane with the Undying, and then they will send the Zeus mid. And for the side of Meepo Gaming, they've got Oracle, Lina heading towards top. I suspect Lina is going to be a core this game, with a... I'm not actually 100% sure. It looks like an Underlord mid. Wow, and they're going to send Dusa bottom. Okay. That's quite interesting. I think that favors Zeus. I think that definitely favors Zeus.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dusa actually is kind of, that can lane against Zeus in middle, but I think that, this team, they want to play, their core player plays their main pos one, so...
Yeah. And I do suspect that they may be trying to dodge the Arc Warden mid, maybe. Because, Arc Warden should do quite well against a Dusa. I would say Dusa will struggle somewhat against an Arc Warden. But Dusa actually should be able to lane alright against a Arc Warden. So we'll see what they're doing. Obviously very strange lineups coming from both of these teams. But everything's on the line, so they need to... Oh, in fact, we're seeing a bit of a skirmish here, and they're going onto the Arc Warden and the Undying, and it looks like Undying's probably going to go down here. The bashes are there. He's got another decay coming up, but it looks like, he gets a decay off, but he's going to get bashed up, and that should be him going down. Oh, one more right click. No, the stun will be there. And, yeah, good first blood from him. They seem to be consistent with how they play those bounty runes.
So... is Odyssey not in this game, or...?
Let's have a look. If I'm not mistaken, please don't feed... Wait, I think it's, please don't feed Mr. Offlaner.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we're getting underway here. So I did notice that in the lobby. So Odyssey's name is Please Don't Feed Mr. Lena, but in his pro tag is Odyssey. That's why. I just don't think they selected the right team when they set up the lobby. Alrighty, looking at this, so we do see this Luna, obviously probably going to go for as much magic damage as possible, going to go for the Veil it looks like. I'm a little concerned about that, I don't know. I think Veil is good, I just, Dusa is a bit of a strange one. I mean, sorry, Luna, the support Luna.
Yeah, and I don't think they have great ways of positioning this Medusa in lane.
Yeah, well, you know, in the nighttime, I think sure, but pre-nighttime, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, will they have the damage at night though?
Yeah, I think they will. You know, the thing with this lane is you do have mad magic burst damage here. When the nighttime hits, that void's going to probably be level 3. So that's going to hurt, you know, and obviously they could potentially have like a level 2 beam. So that's at least Oracle cannot lane. That's something they need to be aware of. Alrighty, it looks like not much between the teams. It looks like Zeus is having a pretty good lane here, but Underlord not doing too bad here. Obviously, he does have a good way of pushing out these waves. If we look in the safe lane, it looks like they did manage to get a pull off here, so they're going to have to deal with this. Lina is trying to deal with it, but those spark rates are just there to annoy them. In fact, it looks like Undying is going to be in a bit of trouble here. There is a bit of a slithering crush, but he actually jukes the right way. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to get that bash off, and it looks like Arc Warden will get a couple free waves there. But yeah, looking at this mid lane, I think Underlord's getting quite a lot out of this lane. I think Zeus did opt to go for the Chain Lightning instead of the Thunderbolt. Do you think that's the right build?
Yeah, so I think he wants to be able to secure the last hits against Arc Warden. Arc Warden has a lot of damage. And yeah, you just couldn't get it. Yeah, sorry, Underlord.
Yeah. We do see Undying going down here top, and they are actually positioning to go into this Arc Warden. They might be able to get a stun off here if they want to go for it, but I think Undying is going to be back there in time. And in fact, it looks like Luna's going to be the one that's in trouble. It looks like Luna's going to go down in bottom lane, but they're continuing to go onto this Lina. In fact, they might be able to bring it down. It looks like they need a couple more last hits. In fact, the Decay might do it. It looks like the one just popped, but it will be enough to bring down this Lina. And very good play there from Pseudo. And in fact, it looks like Arc Warden's in a bit of trouble here. There is another bash going to come through. Can he get that bash off? He is running for it. It looks like the Jukes are there. Goes for the Slithering Crush, and the bash is there. Rango just getting through there with that last hit. Very nicely done. In fact, we see a hasted Underlord level 5 running there. They're going to go into the Undying, and Lina's also back there in the bashes and the stuns, and there's just so much control coming through, and a hasted Crizzy coming through with the plays. Man, the early rotation from Underlord.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I guess it works out.
Yeah.
I think I realized that when Lina got that stun of how much damage he was dealing to this Arc Warden, this lane is definitely losable for him.
Yeah. Look, it's very scary lane here. But you know, I think they can look. They have kill potential on both sides. I just think, you know, they need levels in that tombstone, because then they don't have the best ways of dealing with it. Obviously, Lina can go for. She has actually gone for a Fiery Soul. Yeah, I think that's the right decision, just to deal with that. Oh man, they absolutely destroyed that Night Stalker there with the burst damage coming through from Oracle and the Mystic Snake. I mean, that's 3 points of Mystic Snake. I'm a little worried about this lane for the side of Sector 17.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I have, you know, enough damage, enough sustain to take on this Medusa through the mana shield. And that's a scary thing when the enemy pos one without items, just standing there, waiting for you to go on them. And
oh man, looks like they're gonna try going to this onto this Dusa, but Dusa does have a lot of mana right now still. And in fact, it is nighttime, so you know, probably still a good idea to keep trying to go on this. But does pop the magic stick and essentially gets double the health on Dusa.
Yeah, with that mana shield.
Alrighty, yeah, I mean, look how much damage Zeus is doing there with that level 4 in Chain Lightning and 2 points in Static Field. He does have ulti. In fact, we're seeing a bit of initiation onto Undying, and in fact, he might go down here. Does get the heal off, but it looks like he's taking a lot of damage. But the Zeus ult comes through and brings him down. And in fact, it might be Lina as well that goes down here. It looks like there was a Spark Wraith there, but it's going to hit a creep, and Lina will get out of there. Not a bad first Zeus ult. Changed the tide there for them in that fight.
Radiant just fortified their structures. You know what I'm talking about?
We see a bit of a glyph coming there. Obviously just defending one of the towers there. Looks like top tower. But yeah, so things are looking a little interesting. I think Deuce is doing alright. I think Underlord is doing surprisingly well. I mean, he's sitting on 69 last hits in 7.5 minutes. This is insane. I don't know where he's been getting that farm. I mean, that's
How many last hits was that?
Sorry, he's got 71 last hits.
Oh yeah, 71.
Yeah, and Zeus is sitting only at 46.
Yeah, I think it's just because Underlord actually has the ability to shove lane and then jungle as well.
Yeah, from almost early on. I mean, like from level 4 or 5.
Yeah, and Zeus can't really. I don't think contest him, especially considering he doesn't have lightning bolt. So
yeah, no, it's a bit of a challenge, but I mean that is quite something. But Zeus is still farming there. He's got 51 last hits. Is gonna run back because he has no bottle charges and mana. But yeah, we see Dusa is going for that Midas there, so that's quite an interesting one from him. Oh, they're going to turn. It looks like they're going to go into Oracle. The stun is there. Can they get enough damage? They do get enough damage, but it looks like Nightstalk is going to be in a spot of bother here. But the blocks are there from Pastry King, and they're just going to walk out of there. Oh, Underlord is running through there. I'm not sure if they're spotted. He does have Pit of Malice. He does have the Q. Will it be enough? It looks like it might be enough. The burn damage, the tick damage, it is enough. And Underlord not only has those last hits, but he's actually picking up kills. In this
yeah, that's his second kill.
Yeah, good rotations from him. You wouldn't expect an Underlord to be rotating like this.
You wouldn't. I think we're used to seeing Underlords in offlane, just shove away for
until
the entire game. Yeah, until they start eating the ancient from the offlane.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see. We see a couple pings coming out. They're going onto this Slardar. In fact, he's getting absolutely blasted. And in fact, it looks like Lina might be in a spot of bother here. There's zombies, there's spark rates, there's so much chasing her down. And in fact, they probably won't get that pick off. But in fact, we see a Midas coming out already on this Arc Warden. So good timing from him. As we see Dusa actually going into the jungle here. Alrighty, let's see what they can do here. It looks like we see a couple rotations coming in top. Oracle is coming there. Does have boots, but we'll see if they can bring down this Arc Warden. Arc Warden doesn't have any mana here. It does look like they're going to go. Slaughter has the ulti, pops it on. But do they have enough damage to get the stun? They do manage to get the stun from the Oracle coming through. And in fact, Art was onto the Slaughter, so it's not quite going to hit. But they can change targets here if they want to. But I think there was just a back from the Lina to go get those bounties. Alrighty. I mean, what do you think of this game so far? It's a bit of a mix.
So I think it's shaping up very similarly to the previous two games, where the mid laner of Meepo Gaming is pushing ahead. The pos one of Meepo Gaming is farming, and yeah, it's just looking difficult. Having a bit of a difficult early game for Sector 17.
We do see that they're pressuring bottom though, but they lose on dying top there as well. It looks like both teams just moving into those into those safe lanes and just trying to take those towers. We do actually see that Arc Warden's moved mid onto this Underlord. It looks like Underlord is going to just be able to walk. Oh, in fact, he's taking a ton of damage there. In fact, he actually is just going to TP out of there. But yeah, no, I mean, they take bottom, they take top, things looking quite even. I would say, you know, obviously Dusa is still a warrior. Oh, in fact, we see the multiple TPs coming through. We'll see if they can go onto this. They pop the ulti from Nightstalker. In fact, they're going onto him as well. They potentially could get this kill. Oh, but Oracle is there with the save. Nice and early save just to dispel all the stuff there. And in fact,
It looks like they're gonna have to dive a tower if they want to get anything here.
oh man, the Luna ulti coming through, the Zeus ulti is there, and actually get a double pick off there, the Night Stalker. Just giving them that good vision and keeping that catch going. Yeah, pretty solid fight there from Sector 17. You know, first early skirmish of the game.
Looks like dire structures are fortified. Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's
Alrighty,
middle
it looks like
tower's
they're
under
gonna take
attack.
this mid tower. Arc Warden is being a bit cheeky here, popping the bubbles down here, but it looks like that's all he's going to be able to do. Might try go for the denied. Looks like no, he's not going to be able to get the denied, but they could end up trying to go for this Underlord. But yeah, Put a Malice just too strong right now.
Right here. Yeah, you said it, Rick.
Oh man, you see Pastry King going down there in the Luna, and they deny that tower, so pretty well done from them. But we'll see what they do here. It looks like they want to dive for more. They could potentially go behind this tower, but need to be careful from those rotations. Oh man, they're going to dive for this. The tombstones drop. They're trying to go into the Night Stalker, but they're just going to kill the tombstone and maybe change the targets here. In fact, they do go for this change in targets. Oh, look at those rotations. Huge amounts of rotations. And ulti coming from Dusa. Dusa trying to finish off the tower, but unable to get it. And it looks like they may be able to switch this up. Oh man, the Lord is coming in. I think they need to back out of here. Pastry King in. Oh, he absolutely gets obliterated. And it looks like Nightstalker is going to be in trouble here. Does not have ulti. Does get stunned up. And they're able to finish off that hero. And Zeus is in. Yeah, he needs to get out of there. Well, I'm not sure if
They're gonna
spot him.
50 seconds on his TP.
Yeah, they're fine then. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a way to get out of there. He can try fight his way out, but I'm not sure how much that's going to work. And in fact, they do get him.
Oracle disarming Rango there. He doesn't take the kills.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he could have got burst down there, so I think you know, Oracle doing the right thing. But still, you know, that's a bit of a rough one. They lost the tower, they lost the Zeus. If I'm not mistaken, Luna and Nightstalker also went down in that engagement. What do you think the build should be from this Arc Warden? Do you think? I mean, I see he's going the standard build. He's got the he has skipped the boots until now. But do you think like a Bloodthorn might work here, or he just needs like you know, maybe like a Hurricane Pike?
I think he might need the Hurricane Pike just because Slardar seems to be quite dangerous when he gets on him.
Looks like we're seeing a bit of an engagement here. The Arc Warden is there. The Nightstalker has popped his ulti, but he's in a spot of bother here. But they're just going to get out of there, and they actually pick up one of the kills, and they actually cancel the Underlord ulti because it looks like they're just turning it. And in fact, it is a 2-for-1 trade.
Luna's showing up without ult.
Yeah, but it looks like Zeus is in that backline doing a lot of damage, but it looks like, oh man, the Laguna Blade, and they're actually just going to try and pick up Pastry King there. The burn should bring down Luna, and that is the case, leaving just Zeus here. Oof. It looked like an alright fight there when Zeus was able to just tee off on them on the sideline there, but unfortunately Laguna Blade and Underlord just going ham.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. Zeus does a lot of damage, but it's sort of like gradual, and he likes to have enemies locked down. Even though he's not like a right clicker that needs it.
Yeah, 100%. We do see that there's a mech being built on this Underlord. I think they need that sustain, so I like the fact that they're doing that. But they need actually potentially a pipe coming from one of these players. Because, you know, Lina and Oracle just outputting so much magical damage right now. Oh, we see a bit of a smoke up. They're going to go into Slaughter, but it's only 2 heroes. Are they going to be able to bring down the Slaughter? Slaughter should be able to sprint out of there. In fact, he is sprinting. In fact, we see the rotations coming through onto mid. It looks like Luna's going to be in a bit of trouble here. Are they going to be able to get the stun? Does throw out the stun and manages to land it, and secures it with the Laguna Blade. And MVP isn't for me. Picks up that kill. Alright.
So Underlord, he's really just running through sector 17 like he's in a Jeep Wrangler here.
Oh man. I mean, he kind of he's like a really big Jeep Wrangler. I mean, he's got a pipe, he's got a mech, he's almost got beads, but it looks like he is going to get hit by 4 heroes here. And in fact, he might be able to survive here with Oracle, but it looks like Night Stalker's on the hunt. He wants that, but Deucer coming through with the ulti, and it looks like Underlord might go down here. He is getting healed up, but Oracle does come in to save.
Oracle. And will we see that red traffic light above him? Ulti.
Oh man, looks like they do get a couple kills. It looks like Deucer, funny enough, is actually going to fall here, and it looks like Underlord as well. Wow, okay, so...
And he finally goes down, and that's a rifle.
Yeah, it's a bit of a... the Jeep Wrangler has broken down for a moment. Yeah, that's a bit of a
So it looks like he's going to have to get back to the farm game, this Underlord, and see what he can harvest for himself.
Yeah, no, he's going to have to do that. But obviously they did lose that fight, but it's certainly, I think, still in their favor slightly. And we do see that there is a blink on Slaughter, so Night Stalker going to be in a spot upon that does his blink and gets the stun. But I think Night Stalker should be able to outrun this. In fact, it looks like they're going to be able to turn this. Oh, okay, yeah, I know, he'll get out of there. Nighttime is just, he's just a fast boy when it's nighttime. So we'll see what they decide to do here. Alrighty, what do you think they should do on the side of Sector 17? They are winning those fight. Well, they won the last fight, but it's still looking a little rough for them right now. Alrighty, I think Brendan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. What do you think that Sector 17 should do here? Do you think they should be trying to push down towers or grouping up and taking fights, or do you think it's still a bit rough for them?
Look, I think Meepo Gaming, actually, they have the game within their grasp here, but Underlord, I mean, Arc Warden could easily become an issue. And he could... Yeah, yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Oh man. Alright, so let's see what... we do see that Luna has got that Veil up, which is quite interesting. Arc Warden has got those TP boots up and is looking to finish up that Majulna, which is going to be quite strong. I do suspect he will go for a bit more damage. I think, that's not quite enough damage for him. He would like to get probably an MKB, maybe a Bloodthorn. So we'll see what he can do there. Alrighty, and we see Underlord actually going for that Vlad's, which I think could be a game changer, because obviously Deucer and Underlord can just stand in those fights once they do that, and absolutely just fight them.
Yeah, that'll mean they've got 3 good orders on the side of Meepo Gaming, and they've prioritized this in all 3 games, making sure that they have those orders. Whereas I think Sector 17, they want more specific orders, or specific utility, like they want a Lotus Orb or an AC, or what they bought the Solar Crest last game on the us.
Yeah, 100%. We do see that Night Stalker is going that Ags. I'm a huge fan of this Ags, but I like the fact that he went drums, because Ags isn't quite as good on Night Stalker as it used to be. It still is good, but definitely you need that extra item before you go Ags these days. And it does look like Deucer is actually getting quite farmed on her way to a Skadi. In fact, has that Manta up already. But the Arc Warden's already got his Maelstrom, so I mean Majulna. So that's quite a scary thought. I mean, he can just TP and outpush any lane he wants with just the illusion.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to mean that it accelerates his farm. But Ark Warden is interesting in that he's a good farmer and he pushes out lanes and he does that for your team. And he's quite insane late game. But unless you go for a cheesy build where you go Necrobook or something, he's not actually that strong until the very late stages of the game.
Oh, it looks like we have a bit of initiation. The Zeus ult there, and they pick up the Lina. But just to jump back to your point there, that they've got ways of jumping onto this Arc Warden, which is at any stage of the game. I mean, if Underlord or Slaughter are running straight at the Arc Warden, he can't stay in his bubble. He just can't. He'll never outtrade them.
Well, I think much later on he can, and then he can obviously. I don't think Dusa is really keen to go into a bubble. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna have to wait till Arc Warden gets to critical mass before seeing him really pop off.
Yeah. But funny enough, at what point is that critical mass? Because I think Dusa is reaching that critical mass with the Skadi coming up and almost level 18. I mean, I'm not sure if they will force the issue when that happens, but they certainly can once they reach those timings. Oh, we see a bit of a play coming here. Dusa cancels the TP there. It looks like they want to get Rosh. They have an amazing Rosh lineup right now. So they probably can do this. And I don't think 617 are going to be able to stop them. They're just disarming Roshan there with the Oracle. But yeah, this should be a free Roshan. It looks like they are grouped up, but I'm not sure they will contest this. It is still daytime. In fact, they do spot it out. They pop out the Zeus ulti. They might actually be able to go for this. The Tombstone's out there. Arc Warden's coming in. The Eclipse is there, but oh man, the Juicer ult is just cutting them off, and it looks like Luna's going to drop. Sudan and Dying's going to drop as well, and it looks like Zeus might be... Oh, they actually snatched it! Oh, what a play. One of you just actually snatched that Aegis, making that team fight somewhat worth it. Wow. I must say that was pretty good. I thought it was going a bit bad there for 617, but that snatch is a big deal. Alrighty, the blink forward, they're going on to Zeus. It looks like they are going to try get him. It looks like the Night Stalker is going to run out. Yeah, he thought that Nimbus was going to come. And yeah, very interesting play. It looks like they don't want to stop pushing here. Oh, Dude's coming out. They need to potentially back. But yeah, they're not too worried about the Night Stalker having Ags. They know they can push still daytime, so it's not too bad.
Dire's top tower's under attack.
Alrighty, it looks like they're just going to switch to top lane. Dusa almost has that Aegis. Oh, sorry, no, Scotty. It's actually coming out on the courier. In fact, Zeus is in a spot of bother here. He tries to run into the trees, but it gets absolutely blasted down. And that's a pretty big kill. I think Zeus was actually getting a bit out of control there for a bit.
I see Slaughter going for a bit of Greedia, Echo Saber. He's trying to be more of a core. And I like it. I think it's a good Slaughter game.
I agree. It's one of the ways they're going to deal with this Arc Warden. But look at this. The Tombstone is dropped, but they're absolutely just dealing with it immediately. And in fact, the Underlord is blown up there. And he just doesn't seem like a tank in this game so far. You know, there's a lot of damage coming from the side of Meepo Gaming.
There is, and it's 24 minutes. They've got them Medusa, but they already look like they're moving towards high ground there.
Yeah, I think this game they've got much better high ground push, and in fact it looks like Warden's just in a bit of trouble there. The Laguna Blade comes through, but it is just the illusion. But nevertheless, I think they can just keep going. The sustain is there from this Undying and the Underlord and the... Oh man, they blink forward. The double bash comes through. Luna gets absolutely destroyed there, and in fact, look at that Put of Malice. The AoE is huge. I mean, I understand why people are picking this hero. Oh man, the Zeus ult comes, but they negate the damage onto the Underlord. And in fact, I mean, they could probably still continue going there. Looks like they forced a buyback. They got the tier 3, they can just get out of here. Now, so Sector 17 need to figure out what they can do here. In fact, it looks like Arc Warden is going to be fighting the Doocy here. This is just the illusion, it looks like here. Ooh, almost going down there. In fact, needs to be careful. Wow. No HP, no mana. Yeah.
In 10 seconds, Zeus might be able to do something about this.
I mean, he could do it. We'll see if
Scan.
he goes for that play. No, I don't think he's going for it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's a bit of a risky play. Obviously, Dusa has got some mana and HP up now, so if it was a Zeus ult, it might have might have worked. But do you see how much damage that Arc Warden did with just the clone there? I mean, he's sitting with an MKB already, going Nullifier next. Looks like Lena's going to go down there. They're trying to go into this nice look. Look how fast he is, but he might actually go down here. They do heal him up, and it looks like, wow, he's still going there. He had a Aegis, so that's why he's being aggressive there. And in fact, the Underlord goes down. Wow. Okay, that's going to turn into some objectives for them. In fact, it looks like it might be more here. But yeah, Arc Warden's looking very scary.
Yeah, but look, this is something that Sector 17 do in their games. They might be behind, they might look like they're down and out for the count, and then they get some momentum. So Night Stalker does fall there, but it's still a 2-for-1 play, and they get a tower out of it.
Yeah, no, very good fight from them, and they picked up the big Underlord pickup. Obviously, he's still very farmed, having Greaves, Pipe, and Vlad's. It looks like he is going for Yules next. I think he could potentially, I don't know, maybe something that can help them end the game. I mean, even possibly an Abyssal Blade, you know, just to close that gap on the Arc Warden and Zeus.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game, it was like unlikely that this team would normally be like trying to end the game in 25 minutes,
Yeah.
right? With a lineup like that. And I think they just need to like be consistent with their items in their draft and not look to end the game too early, because I mean they do have Medusa.
100%. It does look like, you know, Dusa is getting to that critical mass point we were chatting about, and almost at that MKB. And I think when Dusa hits 25, you know, it's Skadi, it's MKB proccing on all the hits, and obviously the same with the Paladin Sword, which is something that's absolutely gross with that 25. You know, getting that heal, amplified heal on that all your split shots. I mean, the next thing she needs is potentially a BKB or a Satanic, and it's just you know, raid boss time.
Or even maybe Divine Maker.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, good luck trying to get out of those. I mean, you not only are you slowed, you're going to get hit by True Strike, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 100% True Strike on a Divine Rapier.
So it looks like the
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
sorry, it looks like the Jeep Wrangler of an Underlord has been rehabilitated, and he's not the monster that he once was.
Oh man, looks like a fight is initiating. They pick up the Zeus almost immediately. They're also going to pick up Luna, and look at the damage coming from that Dusa, and in fact just cleans up, and it looks like Arc Warden's also looking like he's going to be in a bit of trouble. There should be a blink coming through. He doesn't even need a blink. He throws out the stun and nullifies there, but it looks like he should be able to survive that. My word, what a team fight that happened. I mean, that was probably a 10 to 15 second team fight.
Perfectly executed by Meepo Gaming.
I like how all the other heroes were quickly running behind Dusa, like save us, protect us, and then all the enemy dire team just got frozen by that ulti. Alrighty, this looks like it might be a Rax going down here. They're not pushing particularly quick, and there is a glyph, so we'll see if they can actually bring this Rax down. Do you think they could just push this anyway, even if the enemy are up? Because they seem to have quite a substantial lead here, and obviously Undying is back in the fray. I mean, Underlord. It looks like they are going to potentially get this Rax. Arc Warden's still 20 seconds out. In fact, they're trying to go for more. The Yules is there, the stun is there, but Zeus is going to pop all his spells and in fact bring down the Lina, but they do lose the Undying. And Dusa just standing there in the front, just doing whatever she wants there.
Holding it down.
Yeah. Well, pops the Mansa, should be able to bring this down. It's going into the Underlord. It looks like he's going to go down. He gets rooted. And in fact, the Arc Warden is back, so they're probably just going to get out of here. He's being
I see
popped.
you're on the user.
Yeah, look, a lot of damage coming through. Alrighty, looks like they should be able to get out of here. Oh, the nullify onto the Deucer. Deucer pops the ulti, the stun gets catches 3 of them. Look how much damage is coming through. That's an Arc Warden and the Undying down. I mean, things snowballing very quickly out of control here for Sector 17.
It's pretty lame. Dire's middle barracks get plunged into a sea of abuse.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know what they can do to get back here. I think they're going to lose 3 Raxes without that Arc Warden.
Oh no, Dire's middle barracks are gone. Oh.
3 Raxes. I don't think that this is something that they can defend. I mean, they do have a pos for Luna, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they're able to get Mega Fleet, so.
Yeah, no, Possible Luna unfortunately has been a bit of a struggle, but it was quite an interesting one. I mean, the Eclipses were killing heroes. It was doing a lot of magical damage. But, you know, obviously there was an early pipe, so, you know, it could only do so much.
Dire's top barracks are obliterated.
Oh, in fact, it looks like they're just going to go on the poor Luna again. Oh man, the bait was real. The Eclipse coming out there and just bringing down Slardar. But they lost all their Raxes, unfortunately. Roshan is going to be up in about 50 seconds. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to defend Megas.
None to burn.
Alrighty, it looks like it's just going to be... it looks like some guys getting ready for the Counter-Strike happening later, guys. That will be happening after this match, so just stick around. But yeah, this match is closing to... It's getting close to that ending stage here. It looks like Dusa has got the Scar Satanic and pretty much almost level 25, so things are looking very, very tough for the side of Sector 17.
I think Sector 17 can actually still win a fight with the items that Arc Warden has.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for BKB. I think if he gets BKB, it's going to be a completely different fight. But you know, I'm still worried. This Deucer's now almost got a butterfly now. So Satanic, Butterfly, MKB, Manta, Skadi. I mean, 6 slotted in 33 minutes. That's quite a scary thought. And it looks like they're just going to do the safe thing and get Roshan here. Roshan versus the Jeep Wrangler.
And you know, when Roshan has that disarm on him, I mean, he looks confused. You could say he looks like he's in a daze.
Yeah, it looks like he's like a deer in Jeep Wrangler headlights. Oh man, the memes are strong. Yeah, so, I mean, they didn't even give the Aegis to Dusa. I don't think Dusa is going to die here. I think they gave it to Slardo and the cheese to Underlord. Yeah, so they are going to go for this end push here. I think, you know, if you're Sector 17, you've got to try and pull out a crazy fight here. But they're certainly not, they're certainly going to give it a bash. Oof, man, look at that. Oh, they can force him forward, and I think he got forced back, but he heals us up. He should be able to cheese here and be fine, but look at that damage. Zeus get absolutely blown up, and I think Rango might be in a bit of trouble there. Oh man, look at that Deucer just standing in the middle of them, bringing them all down. In fact, brings up 4 of them down, and that is GG, guys. Sector 17.
Sector 17 got COVID-19.
Oof, oof. Yeah, no, they unfortunately do lose this match, and well done to Meepo Gaming for pulling off that victory. So yeah, very well done to them. And I think that is it for the Dota, guys. So we are going to be jumping over to the Counter-Strike, guys, but that will be happening in a couple of minutes. But firstly, just want to thank Brendan for casting the matches with me today. It was awesome. I think we had some great games, and the teams played well. Teams played very well.
Yeah, thanks for letting me cast, Dean.
No, it was awesome, man. And yeah, if you want to cast some more, let me know. And I think with that, guys, we are going to be switching over to the Counter-Strike. So we are going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back in like about 5 minutes. We just have to restart the stream with the Counter-Strike tournament.